Hello, and welcome to Andrewcast episode 52. To my left, I have the all-knowing, all-powerful Sheldon Fogel.
Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
And on the drums right now, I have somebody that
We got to pay for that sample, by the way.
I had somebody that was asking to be on the podcast and just
We tried to blow him off as much as we
I
could.
snuck
Right,
in. I snuck in through the basement door.
literally the window behind him. I woke up this morning and Ben was in a fetal position under the
It's
window.
freezing down here.
And I woke him up and he goes, "Is it time? Is it time? Did I miss it?
Like,
Did I miss
get
my
the
chance?"
fuck out of here.
No, but I have one of my good friends, Benjamin Blumenthal, one of the funniest people I know and most positive people.
Happy
He's
to
here.
be here. Thank you.
He had a mixtape to promote today.
Yeah, actually a couple.
Also some concepts I want
Yeah,
to
the
spitball. with
last
you
30
guys.
minutes of this is just gonna be me naming mixtapes and shit.
Projects.
Yeah.
Bunch of
All the
littles.
vaults, yeah.
Bunch of littles.
Yo, I wanna start off talking today about, and I ran this by Ben last night, but did you see that Alfonso Ribeiro, the guy?
Fortnite.
How crazy? What do you think about that? Like, do you
Um,
think that is a legitimate thing to do? Like,
So to sue a major corporation
is it
that's using
petty?
your
Is it
likeness.
petty?
No, it's not.
Asking?
I don't think it's petty. I actually got into a big, not an argument, I want to say like a debate, because we were talking about this. I was talking about it with my roommate Jesse, because I said they're using his likeness. It's almost like using his image because he's associated to that dance. And me and him were going back and forth with.
Did he make it though? Did he actually make it?
Yeah, he made it.
Well, it's like a mix, right, of two different.
See,
dances,
this is where he
like-
fucked up.
Yeah.
So he fucked
He
up.
said on camera he stole it. Like,
But
that's
he didn't.
like-
But when he,
Yeah.
but
But
he
then,
wasn't saying
like, jokingly,
stole,
like
like the
jokingly,
literal
yeah.
sense of
He
stole. He's
commandeered
saying
it.
like kind of like the commandeer, kind of like the hip hop terminology when you say,
Mhm.
"Oh, I saw that, I bit that."
He sampled it, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he sampled it.
Like a
So-
Bruce Springsteen dance, and it was
and
something
J
else.
Lo was it? Was J Lo? J Lo
No.
and Bruce Springsteen.
That was Bruce Springsteen and something else.
It was
Can't
three
remember.
people. It was a combination of three.
Oh,
and
Eddie Murphy. Yeah, yeah.
That's what it was a combination
He was
of
like
three
making
people.
fun of white people dance. Like he
Yeah.
just used that.
So that's how we got the Bruce part.
Okay.
We got the Eddie Murphy because I think it was Eddie Murphy Raw. He was like dancing one thing and he just like doing like that or something. So he took that and exaggerated it.
Yeah.
And there was one other piece. I think it was that part where he was doing that. But
It's the
like,
best part.
Yeah, yeah.
but like Fortnite took his performance from Dancing with the Stars,
Okay.
and it's literally like shot for shot.
They just layered the
Well, they-
animation on top of him
Right.
moving.
Yeah, well, they did that with Turk, like from Scrubs too, like
Him
identically.
too.
Yeah.
It's like the exact same thing. It
Yeah.
was Turk, Snoop Dogg, Drop It Like It's
Snoop-
Hot.
oh really?
That's in there.
Yeah.
Like the same
The
when
shoot,
Snoop's going like
right?
That's
this.
all in Fortnite now?
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
definitely wasn't in there
Well,
in the beginning.
Yeah, I have
the
no
thing-
idea when it was
The thing
added.
is, you got to pay for that dance, right?
Right.
Okay.
So this is where it
Ah,
gets
that's the-
tricky
Yeah.
because like
Like they're making money.
so we were going back and forth with copywriting moves. So if it's a dramatic work, it was on a TV show, and if it's performed for an audience, they were all performed for audiences, right? But the thing is, it has to be more than a 3-count dance.
What does that mean?
So that's like 1 and 2 and 3, right? And it's different original moves. He's essentially doing like that.
Mhm.
That's 1 count, and then it doesn't change.
So
It's
arbitrary.
it stays like that,
So
right?
arbitrary. Like,
So it
Really?
stays like that. So then when he switches it and goes like that, that's like
another-
a 2 count.
Okay.
That's it. It's only at 2.
oh yeah, there's only 2 parts to that.
There's
whole
only 2
dance,
parts of
yeah.
the whole dance.
But I saw a thing where someone made a compilation where it was like, you know, video games have been making money off of his dance for years, but
Yeah.
it just never.
Yeah,
got
he's
big,
also
like,
suing 2K Sports and 2K
2K has it too.
Interactive,
Yeah,
NBA,
he's coming for
NBA.
everybody.
He's
Huh?
his dance is in NBA, and you literally have to pay for that too.
Yeah.
The 2K games, like
be like,
you do the
I didn't even think
creative
he
pro.
needed it. Like,
That's my
It's
whole
not.
thing.
It's not that he needs it. It's the fact that like they're making stupid money,
Okay.
yeah.
and it's like because he would probably been like, oh, if you contacted me first, I would have been like, yeah, cool, use it.
Yeah.
Like it's not the I guess it is part of the money, but it's like
The principle of it as well.
Oh,
you're
dude.
pretty much like everyone knows they even in Fortnite they called it Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They
yeah,
called it
yeah.
the Fresh Dance, but everyone's like that's Carlton. Everyone said Carlton. Now here's another tricky issue. He did that on a TV show.
on Dancing with the Stars or what?
No,
No, Fresh
where-
Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Oh,
Fresh
okay.
Prince is technically was owned by NBC.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, so who really owns the dance? Because that's what Turk said. He said, I don't
Yeah.
own the dance. He said, whatever. I don't know if it was Comedy Central. I don't know what show it
He
came.
probably
What
could
channel.
have copyrighted his own dance. But
He's been in the process of doing it.
Yeah.
He's been doing that
So
for like 10 years.
would that
trying to
even
get it.
cross your mind until like a
That-
video game puts it in?
Right. Same thing with Backpack Kid. He's like, I'm just out here. He's like, my mom felt like I'm
Oh,
entitled to something.
like that thing.
It's only technically a one count.
Yeah,
It's like a one count. So
the
it's not-
shoot, yeah, that makes sense.
Is
Like,
he
Same with
is he
shoot.
still doing good? I saw him like in a
he's
commercial
eating.
or something.
Yeah, he's
okay.
eating.
who, the backpack kid?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
backpack.
Yeah, he's eating.
He's
Dude,
making, like,
he
six
was on
figures.
he was in a Katy Perry song music video,
He
and
was.
she brought
Yeah.
him on for Kimmel.
I like
Or
that music
found.
video where she brought on like all the viral
Swish,
stars.
swish,
Yeah.
bish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't the fat girl in it the girl that goes, Merry Crimbus? Happy Crimbus.
I thought you were gonna say the one that falls off the table. Did you ever see when the girl dances on the table?
Stella,
Like,
Stella takes a
Yeah.
tumble.
Bro, that was one of the
Tina takes a
oldest
tumble.
That's one of my
videos
favorite
ever.
ones.
That's like 2007.
Dude, that's when I used to watch videos.
That's like
on
mixed basement.
yeah.
That's mixed basement, right?
classic era
Yeah.
stuff. But I used to
Even
watch
train.
videos like that on
Mhm.
stupidvideos.com. Like
Stupid.
before YouTube.
E
You guys
Bombs
remember
World.
that too?
E-Bombs World?
They were like interlinked. Those two
What was
like
the other
viral
one? Black
videos.
sheep, like something.
Black
sheep?
albino black sheep.
sheep.
Yeah, had the animation and stuff on there.
Dude,
I
that was
actually knew a
at a
kid.
time when like before Reddit like got like massive. Those websites was essentially just Reddit scattered,
Oh
Right.
yeah, yeah. They just kind of put
and
it all
then it
together
condensed it all into one
space,
for
yeah.
Reddit.
Dude, I knew a kid who lived on the street in front of me. He got a video onto E-Bombs World blowing like a giant snot bubble and then like being able to suck it back up. And this kid was like a
Oh,
celebrity.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
Yo,
no,
do me a favor, just
he-
get a little
yeah,
closer.
no,
to
He's
the
from.
mic,
He's
somebody
actually
levels.
from. I think he's from around here.
Al Kleshik. I don't know if you
Yeah.
know him, but yeah, he was like a celebrity in the neighborhood after that. Like everyone.
He blew a giant snot bubble.
Dude,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like
yeah,
nasty.
it was huge.
And he went like
Just one time.
Yeah.
It's
well,
impressive.
He blows it and then like it kind of collapses and then he like and it
like you know when you
goes
do the spit
up.
thing
Yeah,
from
that's
Big
disgusting.
Daddy.
Because
Yeah,
isn't all the anime characters like when they're asleep? That's like the emoji. It's like a
Yeah.
big
The bubble.
snot ball coming out of their nose. Like that's funny that someone actually did that.
Dude, that reminds me. Have you seen Neo Yokio?
Yeah.
On
So
Netflix?
my
Yeah,
brother.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
This is my take on it. This
And
is,
the- and,
this is gonna
Bodega
be
Boys.
a conversation, man. My
Yeah.
brother actually put it on last night, and it's been out for a minute. People have been
has,
telling me
yeah.
to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First off, man, I respect Will Smith. I respect Jaden Smith. I don't like the kind of stuff. Excluding a few songs that Jaden Smith likes, I don't like his overall style, like his overall message. I respect it. It's not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a little like angsty in your face type
It's
thing. like-
angsty in your face, and
You
it's
gotta
just-
remember,
it's
he's
like
not
really.
even 20 yet, too, which is kind of crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
I think.
I know
he's 19.
he's young.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be a hater. I just don't like the style of like the stuff he makes. So I'm watching Neo Yokio last night with my brother,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
It's out there.
it's out there,
It's
but,
very out
but
there.
also like, it's contemporary anime with kind of like an American spin.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying this
Well,
because we
that's-
talked about it last night.
Yeah.
Aaron McGruder did that.
Yeah.
Boondocks was that.
Yeah.
And it seems too close to Boondocks to be something that I devote my
Well,
time to. Will I watch it casually? Maybe.
But Boondocks, like, they're not as accessible to, like, I feel like Neo Yokio was more, like, easy, you know, to
Right.
get into. I think it's almost like a
It attracts you
transition.
with the colors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all pink.
It's very
Yeah.
it's very
Pink Christmas.
aesthetically pleasing.
I would say that the quality of the animation isn't really that good either.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just like
I
still
think that's on
shots.
purpose.
Especially with that robot, you know? It's
That's-
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just light all the
I just
time.
thought it was cool. It's like a little woman inside there. I don't know if you see
I
it.
don't even know. Spoiler alert for
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
who cares
If anyone's
about
gonna
the
start
plot of
watching
something like
Neo Yokio tonight, yeah.
Oh, dang it.
We're gonna have- we're
I'm
gonna
not
have-
going to watch it now.
We're gonna have the Neo Yokio stands
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
comment
yeah.
section.
I think it's the first episode, anyways. If you don't know that by now.
I don't know, but you guys like it? You
I
guys
like
are
it.
into
I liked it because I like Jaden Smith. I thought his album Sire was like really good.
I feel so bad. I haven't listened to
It's
it.
I thought it was really good.
Is that the one with the tracks? How big is your army? 100,000.
Nah,
That's
I
wrong.
don't think so.
All right.
That's
I
the
like
one
it.
with what you call an icon living. Started record label misfit just did.
I like that
Whoa.
song.
Nah,
Yeah,
I like New Yokio because it has Bodega Hive. in
and
it.
them too. It
Yeah,
has
they
a
got
Bodega
Deez
Hive.
Samaro.
Deez
You
know who they are?
Samaro.
No, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that's
They're funny, man. They're funny.
Or do you know the podcast, like Bodega Boys?
No.
Oh, dude, you should start watching that. They've
You
been
would
doing
know
it
them.
for
Long time.
yeah. They had a Vice show.
Now they're on Showtime.
yeah, they just got a show on Showtime.
February.
Yeah.
Okay.
Debut.
But yeah, they're from New York, like these two dudes, and like
I think it's like Bronx. I think
from
both
from
Bronx?
DX, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all just talking about how like in early 2000s they'd be on the block like
Yeah.
shirt off, straight back
They're really
cornrows.
funny to
like-
follow
Okay,
on
good.
Yeah,
social
yeah.
media, too.
My favorite podcasts are the ones with like stories about craziness. So like I'll definitely check that out. Like that's why I love Joey Diaz's so much, because he's just like an 85 dog. I robbed somebody that climbed into the window and slept under the bed. Like, what do you want?
Joey
stabbed
Diaz,
someone's dog or something.
Yeah.
Just like,
bro,
what?
he also just low key, just like not even low key, just blatantly uses like old time racial slurs.
Oh yeah, man.
It's just really funny.
What did you say, like sukulamink or something like that? Sukulaminka.
Me
Someone was
and
saying,
the mix from the other day.
dude, someone was saying the other day it was like him and Tracy Morgan are two people that like
They have stories.
they just don't even realize how funny they are. They're just naturally like
Naturally funny.
they could just go into a story.
I'm
and
not sure if you ever saw the Burt Kreischer story about Tracy Morgan. It's a famous one. You've probably seen it, where like Tracy Morgan gives Burt Kreischer weed, and he jokes that it's been laced with PCP. So like the whole night, Burt Kreischer thinks he's tripping. And it ends. I don't even want to spoil the ending. But
it's a good bit.
It's amazing because it talks about how Tracy Morgan's style of comedy is like he references stuff like, yeah, man, y'all remember fingering like under the boardwalk? And he's like, huh? And Burt Kreischer's like, he brought that up like that was a shared experience. I've never heard anyone do that except him. Like, you know, it's that's what I love about Tracy Morgan.
Yeah,
it's so true. It's one of those people that like everything he says, like not even supposed to be a joke. Like he's just talking about his experience that he had. It's funny.
Well, that's why The Last OG is kind of like.
Dude, I'm happy someone actually just mentioned that.
Is that the show where he comes back to New York and it's all like.
He was in jail for like 10, 15 years for selling crack, and then he comes back.
Yeah, and a lot of it's like his. I think it's a mix of his personal stories and like his friends' like personal stories.
Yeah. Right.
Like growing up, but it's like through him.
So that's a good show. I should watch
it.
It's
funny.
Is it still going? I
think so. I don't know. I
seen
like. I don't know if it got canceled.
I haven't heard anything
about it.
Like,
yeah,
I'm curious.
I think it's like, but it's on TBS, and that's like.
What's on Netflix?
Yeah, if you're on TBS, like your shows are syndicated. Like,
I remember
like, you're good.
Yeah, for real. You're
got
safe.
That syndication money.
Right.
I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I wanted to watch it, but I'll definitely check it out now.
Right.
It seems really funny.
Yeah, it came up randomly on my like Netflix queue. I probably wouldn't have watched it if it wasn't just like suggested. But
another good podcast is I'm a big fan of Joe Budden's, because it's just like it's barbershop talk.
Yeah. Dude, just the way he breaks things down like bar for bar is so funny.
It's funny, and it's like he's super accurate.
Yeah. Like, dude, one he went through sicko mode, like line for line.
Oh, you just recently listened to that one?
Yeah.
He's like, made it right. He's like, check Google Maps.
Yeah, where was he making it
He's
right
like, cut the
from?
light. Oh shit, cut it. He cut the light.
Yeah, like it's his thing is super like hip hop oriented. If you like to know all the like interminglings with like beef and all that, like
and it's like, cause like he's like removed from the industry, but he knows so much about the industry.
He still talks like he's like in it though.
Yeah. And when they try to talk about other topics like sports, so like, all right, so we got for sports, someone talks, he's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck either.
It's just really funny. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I am on this. You know, I let people who know about that talk about it, and I'm eager to learn. But I feel the same way.
Drew's sitting there with the snot bubble.
Bro, there's one where we just talked about like the NFL. I use that term loosely.
You were there.
I was.
You were sitting.
I wasn't talking about that.
This is before your time, actually, on the show.
Before you were born.
30 episodes deep.
Gang, gang.
Yeah, man. My podcast choice, my three mains. I think I've said this before. Joe Rogan Experience, obviously.
That's a one. Yeah, that's a number one.
That's like watching BBC. You know, that's like a must. And then, Fighter and the Kid. Just because I love Brian Callen, and I've grown to really love Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
Like, they're so funny together.
Yeah, they got good chemistry.
It's great, man. It's great. And the Church of What's Happening Now.
Did you drink all the coffee?
I found myself using their colloquialisms. Like, Brendan Schaub always says, for sure. Like,
for sure.
I used to listen to What's the Real, but then I just
What's the Real?
Yeah, it's the two Jewish guys. And
yeah.
They were like a comedy rap group. And then, but they just kind of switched their content. Now it's like, them and Noriega and
like Drink Champs
and someone I forget who.
Drink Champs.
I don't know if it's Drink Champs, but what they do is that they just play video games and get stoned and do it on the podcast.
See, that's cool.
I just see like Doug Benson doing something like that.
Oh yeah, didn't he have that show Getting High with Doug?
Or Getting Doug with High, I think. Yeah,
that's what it was. That was the whole spin-off.
I saw that like when that came out when we were like high school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
another
way bigger though.
Another good one. Damn, I forget his name, but he's a comedian. He has a mullet. No, he has a mullet.
This is okay. I saw
it's just him.
I like
Dude,
I like
are you
Bill
talking
Burr.
about Chris D'Elia?
No, not Chris D'Elia.
I can't just watch Chris D'Elia by himself.
I
it's,
can.
it's funny, but it's.
I really like his
he sounds like a redneck. The guy that I'm thinking of.
Theo Von.
Him.
He
Theo
is
Von.
hands down.
He's the freaking man.
Yeah,
He's funny as shit.
that's low key why I'm on here right now, because I'm
kinda
trying to start a rivalry with with Sipple.
He kind of reminds me of you though. His sense of humor.
What, Theo Von?
Everything.
No, man.
Everything he says, he turns into a joke.
That's Theo Von.
Like, everything he says, he turns.
Theo
into
Von
a joke.
has these like obscure, just
Worldly
Yeah.
opinions.
like he talks about just like being like attacked by random homeless dogs and
Right.
like
Like he purposely does all that like very straight faced. And
Yeah,
then when
yeah.
somebody says something crazy, like man, like some guy got his penis stuck in a tube. He's just like, he's just living life, bro.
Yeah.
He's just doing his
Then
thing,
he's like-
man. Just
yeah.
leave him alone.
dude,
then he's like, all right, right on.
Yeah.
He's like, right on, brother. He's like, right on, brother.
He's so
Dude.
casual about everything.
I think he's guest of the year for like every podcast.
Yeah,
he's
Dude,
been
he was
on,
just
like-
he was just on the podcast, and I was listening to him explain it. I forget what the show.
He has
is
his own,
called.
right?
Yeah.
Is it
This
just
past
him?
weekend, dude, he just
Yeah,
had
just
Chris
him.
Hansen on. That was a good
That
one.
was a good one.
I gotta
Yeah.
listen to that.
But
There's too many podcasts. Oh,
I know. Yeah,
because that's the climate we're in.
I know. Well, that's actually that makes me think. Like, what's your angle with this? Like,
Here,
yeah, I mean,
it started off as just like nerd talk, and last episode
Yeah.
was nerd talk. Like
Yeah,
we got
super
in
nerdy.
pretty deep to the point
Like-
where it was just like me
Video, just video games.
obscure.
It was
Nah,
me
it
and
was
Sean going
obscure.
back and forth just about like
Yeah.
superhero movies and video games, and like that's the
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
stuff I really talk about because that's the kind of industry I want to get into, and that's just Sheldon's bread.
Well, it's
and
like you
butter.
said, like that's what
Right.
you know probably best, right? Like,
Right, but also I'm a quote unquote young person trying to do something.
Fucking
On my
millennial.
yeah, millennial
That's
a
piece
fucking
of shit.
millennial.
That's what I'm
Piece of
saying.
shit.
So like, I am for real a true definition of millennial.
Oh yeah,
But
dude,
but
I'm bad with that.
exactly. But like I am trying to do something on my own, like my own kind of thing. And so
Yeah.
when other people are doing that, like Just Shad and pretty much
Mhm.
everybody here that signed the logo, like
Yeah.
I like to bring them on so they can talk about why they do it, what their process is, because it's tough, man, when like everybody's like, yo, you got to go to school and now you got to get a job, and it's just like, when am I going to make that YouTube channel I wanted to make?
Right.
You know? And so
Yeah.
that's something that's really big for me.
But I mean, now it's so easy. You can have a YouTube channel and still have like a job or do something else. You know, it's not like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to get on the level of like T-Fat-K or something,
That's
like,
true.
Like you'd have to make it your job.
But
Like,
just staying
I
consistent.
think this it has potential to grow because
For sure,
we've been
yeah.
we literally this has been 2 years doing this now.
it's super niche. Like,
It is.
you know, like,
And, like-
I don't know any other people that talk about like Dragon Ball Super, like everything, like just anything. pretty
Anything
much,
goes
like,
in the
yeah.
show, man. Like we've dipped into the racial, we've dipped into the
Yeah.
historical, like so.
Which I
it's-
hate
it-
talking about. Don't ask me anything about racially motivated.
I had a racial question.
Yeah.
today,
How
man.
do you feel?
Yeah.
I actually had
Like
one
Montague.
today.
Does my skin color bother you?
I like
You saw he had a gun. He made a sudden movement.
It's my wallet.
the strategy is definitely I like to broadcast the show by the guest that's coming on to bring
Yeah.
people in,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
whatever they hear coming in is like extra. Like
What-
on
Mhm.
Joey DeVille, of course he's a rapper who's Puerto Rican, so he raps in Spanish, and his culture is a big part of what he does. But then if you listen to the episode, we also talk a lot about movies and like what movies we like.
Yeah.
So I think it's
That's my favorite part is
Right.
trying to
Yeah.
see how deep into a nerdum someone is that you wouldn't expect.
I mean,
totally.
there's people
We had-
that
we had a
you
couple-
wouldn't know.
We had
Like,
a couple people on here. I'm trying to see a name.
I already signed my name on there. But I see Mike.
Damn, you already blew the load.
What am I supposed to do it on film?
No, I don't know off the top of my head, but like there's some people that will stop by and they'll talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'll just see like what their interests are, and then I'm like, dude, literally everyone that has come on here, literally almost everyone's like the same.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone likes the same stuff. Not in a
think
bad
so?
way, but like,
I don't know. I
like
don't
when
think
it comes
so.
to like
I mean, you had like an illustrator.
nerdum,
You had
type
musicians.
stuff,
Yeah.
You know, it's
you know?
pretty.
Because
all over the
everyone
place,
likes
but-
is like the same, almost like
Yeah.
the same stuff, which is like, and it's all different walks of
Yeah.
like life.
But at least it's
That's
not
what's
like
cool.
you know, super saturated. Like everyone's doing podcasts.
Right.
Like I don't know anyone else
right.
doing a podcast.
It's,
like
it's few and far between, but
Just live in a
it's
box.
grown. We talk about it all
Yeah,
the time.
dude,
it's
for
just
real.
really grown.
Right.
But
it's
no,
a rare sighting.
I mean, when I brought on Sully, when I brought on Adrian Sullivan, that episode,
Yeah.
all we did was talk about hip hop, like from the beginning to
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh yeah,
everything.
like that's
which we
one
can
of
get
them.
into. Yeah.
Because like I don't know, you see him, you wouldn't. He's a athlete,
Mhm.
big guy, you might not think he has time for music, but he's literally like a
Deep.
Like a
historian.
balls deep in
Yeah.
music, you know.
Yeah.
That's like the cool thing we like to figure out on the
Yeah.
show. It's like, all right, you do this, but then what else is an attribute?
Yeah,
of
what's
you?
something like
That's
important to you?
And like Mike Boyd, like he's super
Yeah.
into comics and like illustration. I didn't know
Mike
that.
Boyd's into a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
He's
He
all
is,
over the
yeah.
place.
Yeah, I didn't know he was
He
into
definitely
like
is.
I didn't know he
Yeah.
was like into illustration like
Yeah.
that.
It's
Yeah.
cool though because honestly, man, like whenever you're meeting someone new, like don't you find talking about the interest that you have is like the best way to break the ice? You're like, yo,
Yeah.
what shows are you watching? And like, what album are you listening to? And like
Right.
that, you automatically start to relate on just a superficial level because you're like, oh, I've watched that show on Netflix, or
Yeah.
So it's the art of conversation, I guess.
See, that's the thing too. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. I can't remember the last time I was in a conversation and I was like bored with what the other person was saying. Like, you know, there's this.
You're an astute
this
listener,
thing-
though, man.
Yeah, there's this thing where people are like, "Come on, let's go." Like, but I've never. It's just like, if you're talking to someone, like you should, you
Right.
know, be attentive,
I
hear
mean,
what they're saying,
It's like
say
you should have a
something back.
podcast, Ben.
You should honestly.
Yes, actually, this is me kicking you guys out. This is now Bencast.
Now
Welcome
Bencast.
to Ben.
Bencast actually is a better ring.
I
But,
can just redraw my
put
face on there.
glass on
Yeah, yeah. Like the eyes. I guess the eyes are about the same.
Yeah,
too.
we similar eyes. We actually do. But you're
We
actually
both sleep right now?
you're pretty sincere, man. You're a good listener. I feel like people that are bored in conversations, they have a hard time listening. You know,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that's a big reason why.
I'm trying to think if there was any moments that we had guests on here where I was just like not into it.
Yeah, well, there
I
has
don't
to
know.
be, dude. Like,
I'm trying to think. There's
there has.
honestly there's been so many guests I can't remember more than like the last like 4.
Yeah.
I've listened to some of the episodes and I go like, I said that. Like that's how bad my
Right.
memory is. I'm like, wow, like I didn't know that I
Right.
said that. You
Right.
know,
Someone
No,
called me
like-
out on something I said before, and I was like, I don't remember saying that.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm not gonna talk
yeah,
about
you
it.
can't prove that.
I'm trying to
Like,
be
we
as
have
careful as
film.
possible.
Show me the footage.
And
Yeah.
with that, let's get into a controversial topic.
Ooh.
I was thinking today, and I
Is this the
wanted-
Chris Rock thing?
No. This
What?
is
What
just
do
in
you-
general.
Mm.
I don't know about that. We can get to that in a second.
Yeah.
This is just in general, right? So I was thinking about this the other day. Fraternities, right? I've never been a part of a
Hate 'em.
fraternity. Okay, we'll get into that.
Right.
I've never been a part of a fraternity.
Strong
right?
stance already.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, there's all sorts of ethnic fraternities, right? There's like
Right.
an Asian
Mhm.
fraternity, there's like a
Right.
black fraternity. It will never
Indian.
explicitly say that,
Mm-hmm.
but there will be these kind of fraternities. We don't have a
Right.
problem with that, right?
Right.
I don't think necessarily there is anything wrong with that unless you're being exclusive. Then there's
Mhm.
a problem, right?
Right.
You're saying you can't come in. Like,
Yeah, it's like, no,
Yeah.
you can't come in this unless you're Asian.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
different from like a fraternity that's predominantly Asian, right?
Right.
So part of fraternity culture, quote unquote, and I don't know because I'm not in a fraternity. I'm not trying to bash them. I see people get brands, right?
Right.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about today is a very social justice warrior-y time
Mm-hmm.
where obviously there's people looking out for equality, and that's great. That's in the best interest of everyone. People who
Yeah.
who are doing that sincerely.
Right.
But there's also a big push to like find injustice and stuff to be offended by. So my question is, in the climate that we're currently in, like 2018, why are black fraternities branding each other? Like, wouldn't that be?
It's a
I
great
don't know.
question.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be like anti-progressive according to these people? My opinion
Well-
is this: is your body, do what you want to do.
So like,
right?
I'm on the outside, obviously.
Same. I'm on
but
the outside too.
yeah, if you couldn't tell, but
Sheldon, this is why we brought you here.
but I mean, yeah, you're the real guest. But no, yeah, just get out. Part 2. No, like we start
His
shaking the
face
cup.
when
Yeah,
he's just sitting down. That part
sink
was so
deeper and
weird,
deeper.
dude. That movie
No,
weirded
like
me out.
I just think
I love
Oh, he's falling back.
at least like in the college atmosphere,
Mhm.
you know, whites have pretty much been like the predominant,
Right.
you know, makeup of,
Any
of a
movie that
campus,
you
pretty
watch,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
the
like,
world.
you know, and yeah, the world, and like that naturally makes the other groups of people like disenfranchised and not
Right.
able to get into a frat that gets them, you know, a job afterwards, like
Right.
at a Fortune 500 company.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I think maybe they had just like a black or Indian Asian fraternity. They're so close knit because they didn't have that to start out with,
Mhm.
and maybe like branding is just something to
Like a
kind of like
brotherhood.
like Malcolm Jenkins. He has the
Yeah.
horseshoe on his arm. Like
It just
Yeah.
seems
I know it's
weird.
like a real like a bonding thing, I guess, but
That's honestly probably like the best answer because like if you think like he said,
Wouldn't
like,
black people in general though have a negative connotation of that? Like look at that negatively because
it's
of
probably
that
it's probably also
historical-
the same thing with the N word. You flip it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
You have to flip it, take something that's negative and try and make it
yeah,
somewhat to a positive. Cause yeah, the branding to me, it like like it's like a duality type thing. Like,
First off, if I was in a fraternity, I would never. There's no amount of anything
To get
that could make
branded?
me do that to me.
Right.
No. So why would I pledge allegiance to just like my bros? We're bros forever. Forever. Ah!
Yo, you didn't pay your dues this month. We're not
No, but
bros.
it's like-
Get out.
if you think about it, like the biggest differences between ethnic frats and like white frats. White frats is like, you know, it's that it's the networking and also like
Yeah.
the partying, loosely partying. Don't want to say all of them are like that, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Good
it's like,
enough.
yeah,
Very
right.
good
But
enough.
it's like, you know, there's more like a,
We're
Majority.
frat, but we don't party. Bro.
Right.
Yeah.
but there's more of a bro culture, whereas I think the ethnic ones,
Instead of alcohol, they bring in like textbooks to study. Or
but like it's more of the like the bro culture,
Yeah.
is whereas like, you know,
Yeah.
the ethnic ones are, like he said, like disenfranchised. So you find people. So if you grow up in a high school where there's not many Asian kids or not many black kids, and then
Yeah.
you get to college and then you find out there's a predominant group of like people who look like you,
yeah,
like
and you're
it's,
like
it's probably
gravitate, like,
right,
yeah,
because then it's kind of like more like tracing back to your roots type of thing, I think.
yeah, and then yeah, like at least so Kutztown, for example, that's out in the middle of nowhere. It's
Right.
it's like cows and stuff, so it's a lot of white people.
Well, sometimes I
So-
think of our boy like
Huh.
Alex, like he joined the Asian fraternity. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tran.
Tran.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you think about it in high
He does
school,
stepping now too. Like,
right? I think that's dope. He
Yeah,
did it
yeah.
at Mick's wedding.
Yeah, yeah.
dude, I was
I
sick.
know.
Him
Every
and
time I
his
see him, I'm
girlfriend.
like,
I went to one of the fraternity parties. It was awesome.
one of his
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah,
and it's
it
because
was
it's
so cool.
because it's different.
Yeah,
you know, it's
it
kind
was
of like a
super sick.
performance.
But you're not gonna see that at a white frat.
No.
You're not gonna see Stefan.
You're not gonna see
s-
Brad and Chad like
No.
like killing it over there in the corner.
Nah.
But because what's it called? If you think about like our high school group is like very our friend
All
group is
over the
very
place.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And I
Benson's
think-
actually pretty diverse. Like
Which is awesome.
It is.
town,
It's
city,
good for
whatever it
like
is,
you
yeah.
know just growing
It
up.
used to not be according to the people that were here, but that's another
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, they probably
Apparently
would
the
want to
Valley
keep
was
it
just,
that
like,
way. Yeah.
predominantly Jews,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
And there's,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
a black people section.
I
and
know. I
stuff.
missed out on that. Could have been somebody.
But we stay on topic. I
Yeah,
hear what
no,
you're saying.
No,
There's
but it's
no
like
cheap
if you think about like he would have a very eclectic friend group, and he was like our only like Asian friend. So when he probably got to college, he was like, let me see what the Asian frat's about.
Yeah.
And then it's like a more sense of like it's like a home feeling type of thing. I feel like
Yeah.
because I know our another friend we have, Nate Livingston. He went to
Yeah.
Howard,
Yeah.
and he said like there are you know other people besides black people there, but he said it's like it's that different feeling. It's
Mhm.
more.
Right.
You feel inclusive
dude,
instead of being on the outside. You actually feel in.
That's got to be a crazy experience being like one of the only white people at Howard.
Right.
or something.
Apparently, he said there's like more than you think.
Well, yeah, yeah.
It's
of
not like
course,
you know like the reverse of our
It's
high
not like
school
two
where we had
people,
like
yeah.
15 black kids and it's like 15 white kids out of the whole campus. He said it's a good amount.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I think we benefited from growing up in Bensalem. At least like the people I went to school with in
Right.
Kutztown, they didn't know anything else except for like Allentown or where
I hate
Pottsville.
Allentown,
Like
bro.
it's
Bunch of rich snobs.
If you're from Allentown, I'm sorry, but there's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there.
There really isn't.
It's
It's
factories and
rich
like,
people.
It's cold year round.
It's a nice, peaceful place to live,
Yeah.
though, man. Like,
Sometimes.
if you're trying to escape.
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
man.
know.
Like, I kind of like we have that in between of like there's not much in Bensalem, but it's close to the city, kind
Oh,
of.
yeah.
It's close
but-
to the city, mountains, beach.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And
Like-
Bensalem's like big enough, so it's like you see different people all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I was in Allentown, dude, I like because Natalia went to Allentown, so whenever she went to DeSales, so whenever I'd go up to her school,
Yeah.
like, and we go to bars, and I'm just like, dude, this is like super, like it's like painful, like
Yeah.
white.
No, it's
I
like
think I
real
was-
dive bars. Like,
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's like white, and then like, it's like either really poor or really rich.
Yeah.
And it's like there's
Mm.
no
In between.
middle ground. It's just like one or the other, and it's
You're
like
right.
weird.
Bensalem economically is a very diverse place.
It's like flat in the middle too. Bensalem economically, it's like
yeah.
there's some lower class.
That's right, dude.
There's some high class, and it's a lot of
If
middle.
you ever want to see both ends of the spectrum of like poverty and wealth in Bensalem, just deliver pizzas.
yeah,
You know,
Really?
yeah, you'll go to like the depths in like Creekside or wherever, like Bucks Meadows, all that, and then you end up going to some like huge mansion somewhere
Right.
like that
Right.
you've never been to before.
Like
and then,
the neighborhood right by the Chamonix Mall. That
right,
neighborhood-
yeah.
Where
Those things popped up in like less than a year. I
Oh,
don't-
by the
like
the-
years
by
ago.
the
By the-
firefighter field.
yeah.
by the CVS too.
Yeah, those houses are nuts.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, dude, I
Right.
drove by there the other day. I almost like shed a tear. Remember that farm that used to be like by those houses?
I don't.
What road is that?
There's a farm.
Is that Bristol Road? I think.
I don't
Like
know.
right near where the horse track is.
Oh, okay.
Like you cross over the turnpike,
Richelieu?
going towards like Ramblers Field or.
the Lou, I guess.
Yeah, the Lou.
Yeah,
But yeah, there
Richelieu
used to be
Road.
like a farm out there, but I just drove by it. They like knocked the whole thing down and paved over it.
I don't know about
For
you
the
guys,
parks,
but like
yeah.
going to school and then like when you come home like once every 4 months, you see how much Ben's changed. I'm like, dude, I don't even know. Like
Well, dude.
when that road was built
Yeah.
to cut through to the high school,
Yeah.
like by my mom's house, in
Oh
Bridgewater,
yeah,
that new road.
That just keeps
I remember
going,
I
yeah.
was gone for like 5 something months,
Yeah.
and then I came home and I was like, dude, there's a road here now.
That road changed everything. Made
Yeah.
stuff so easier.
Dude,
Yeah, I
it was
know.
great.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine what it was like before that road was there, but
There's a lot of waiting at that
But yeah,
light.
like I don't know.
So-
I just stay in my
terrible.
cave, dude. I
Yeah.
don't come I don't come out of my cave a lot, so when I come out like to Ben Salem, I'm always like shocked by
Same.
the stuff that's changed.
When
like-
I'm in the city, like, and I come back here, I'm just like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
this is new? But I want to stay on focus. You said you don't like fraternities. You don't bang with fraternities, at least.
Nah.
Why? Is there a story, or is this the
You
Nah, it's not even-
definitely
it's not even
got
principle.
kicked out of a party or something.
no,
It wasn't
no,
allowed
nothing
in,
like
like-
that.
bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Shut
Dude,
up,
I've been
like,
there. I've
bro.
gotten a door slammed in my face.
No, I never
before.
had a.
Yeah.
No, I don't think
Yo,
I ever
that's-
had.
That's, man.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think I
dude.
ever had an issue getting to a fraternity. I just think just that culture, man. That culture's like
Yeah.
It's a
it's
little
just
weird.
weird to
Well,
me.
like-
It's a little weird, man.
Paying
I
for
just I
friends.
remember the first party I ever tried going to in Kutztown. It was freshman year, and I just got into this party somehow. Like we knew one of the kids who was
Mhm.
like a senior,
Right.
and we were going in, and I like didn't even step foot into the house yet. I like went like that really hard with the door, and like 2 of the brothers were right on the other side with their drinks, and like smashed all over them, and like we weren't allowed in. They made us leave like right
Why'd
away.
you open the door like that?
It was like a Kramer entrance. I was like,
Dude, I would've been
and it
crying
just
laughing if I
splashed
saw that.
everywhere.
Oh man.
And I didn't get beat up or anything, but like, I think I probably just left too quick for them to like like find
Yeah,
me
well,
and fight
I
me,
went
but-
to I went to one of the fraternity parties at Penn State, and they're all in mansions, and I'm like, I was
Oh,
like, dude,
yeah,
this is
dude.
just weird.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just weird. Think like a school would give a bunch of freaking 19 to
Yeah.
23-year-olds like
not so much
literally
anymore, I guess.
like,
but
like 10-room mansions.
It's a business though, man.
yeah,
I know, and it's
That's
just
how you
like,
gotta
oh,
look
bro,
at
it's
it.
just like so weird.
it is weird, but
Like when I was at like
yeah.
Temple, man, like they were all in basements.
Right.
They're all in little
And,
basements.
like in the hood too.
Yeah,
like-
in the hood. or you're at like a frat house, so to speak. And
No,
there's,
but
like,
they
on
help you.
Broad
They help you.
Street
They
somewhere.
definitely help you get a good job though.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah,
mean,
like-
especially if there's somebody on the inside that's the
Right.
employer that's hiring you.
Right.
That's
They
like,
they
oh.
they literally have like positions in a frat to once you're out, you contact these people, and then
Right.
they kind of just see what you're good at,
Yeah.
what you went to school for, and then they just pass you
I
along.
don't
to
know,
someone.
I've always been kind of like anti-establishment, so I'm just like,
Hey,
I'm-
gang gang.
Yeah, right. So
I
it's-
I never understood paying
see that's what I'm
to
saying.
hang out
like,
with people.
bro.
like-
I know some people who went to Penn State and they said that I'm paying like an additional like $3,000 a semester to be in the frat. I'm like, yo,
Right.
I was like, that's chalked.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm not
yeah,
doing
that
that.
ain't
Like,
happening.
Here's my thing. So I know a lot of people in fraternities, good friends. Seriously,
Right.
people that are awesome too. Like there's
Yeah.
and there's fraternities that they raise money for charity and all this stuff. You know, there's multiple reasons to join a fraternity.
I feel like some of that is covers though.
Oh,
Like,
just to get into
The
parties and
charity,
stuff.
no, charity.
Oh,
Like, they
yeah.
have to do it because
Uh,
the bullshit that they always do.
All this begathon money, right?
a
Right.
thon. Yeah.
So
Funny.
here's my take on fraternities, right? There's a lot of positive to it. This whole concept of like you are my tutelage and I'm your tutor, right? This whole
Yeah, I'm not
little-
with that.
This whole little big thing.
No, I'm not with that.
Yo, you're 1 year
So
older
corny.
than me.
Right.
So
Hold up,
corny.
Yeah.
hold up. You're 2 years older than me.
Right.
Yeah.
What have you experienced in
Yeah,
life?
yeah,
that
what
I
knowledge
haven't?
do you
My
have?
It's different,
my
like,
little.
Yeah, oh, wise one.
you're
What
My
like
do
a,
you-
big.
exactly. If you're like a 40-year-old like sensei and you're
Yeah,
like, I'm
yeah.
gonna teach you how to do kung fu. Like you
Yeah.
need to carry buckets on your shoulders. Like I got you,
Bro,
bro.
if,
I
an-
need
if,
strong
like-
shoulders.
if you're not the Asian dude from Kill Bill, get out my face.
And
Like,
it's kinda,
exactly, like-
and then you got the alumni that come back and they're like 50 and they're still at like a house party at a college. It's
Yeah.
like what are
It's
you
gross.
doing?
I'm
It's
man?
saying,
like,
bro. It's
ugh.
like-
What
you
are
look
you
at it, you're
doing?
like,
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Oh.
the highlight of,
Well,
of
like
your
my
month.
my freshman year, I lived on a hall with like a bunch of people that went into frats and like ended up becoming presidents of their frats and stuff. So they would just let me in. So that was like always a bonus. But you would end up seeing these old guys in there
Yeah,
hitting on
bro.
like girls our age, and we're like,
Yeah.
and they'd obviously be like visibly creeped out. You know, like
it's not a good look.
And I'm sorry if anyone's a fraternity person, but it's just weird. I don't know. It's just
no,
creepy.
honestly,
that whole big and little, that dynamic, miss me.
It cut.
Yeah.
It's
like
very weird, man, because when you go to college, there's not exactly a direct social ladder like there is in high school. Like in high school, we're all in classes together. We all go to lunch together. We see the same people every day. So of course, there's a more concrete way for you to meet people, be social, and make friends. In college, you have to carve that out yourself.
Right.
Yeah, some people don't do that.
Exactly.
It's bad.
People aren't used to it.
Yeah.
So the more institutionalized way of doing it is joining an organization.
Yeah.
And what better way to do that than an organization that centers itself around partying? But then there's all these by the ways, like you got to pay dues and hey, pledge, like wash my car, and then now you got to swallow a goldfish. And it's like, whoa. Hey, hold on a second.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to have fun and hang with the bros.
Well, that's probably it too. Like, you know, you just gravitate to someone who has the same interests as you or looks like you, so it makes sense. Like,
exactly.
You know, but
I mean, in college that comes around naturally. Like if you follow your interests, like I just joined a club where we paintball, and the next thing you know, like the paintball club kids are your friends, and you didn't have to. All you did was pay for the paintball gear. But now you're part of this like this family, and like you can't go against the family. You can't tell our secrets. Like why? You know. And again, like you said, I'm not trying to offend any fraternity people, but your culture is weird. Like if I'm wrong, tell me.
Yeah.
I'm down to change
like,
my
I think
opinion.
it's weird because I'm on the outside of it, and like
yeah,
I something in my head, I just could never do that. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I just knew a lot of kids that end up doing that, and they got good jobs, but it wasn't worth it.
More power to you.
Yeah, nah, it was just not worth it. Like, yeah, so many people from college I ended up like never seeing again after freshman year. Like,
it's weird, the friends that you meet your first year, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's strange. You see them later, and it's just like,
oh yeah,
you're friendly, but you're not going out with them, or you're not like doing stuff together.
But I can kind of understand it a little bit because like I went to like a smaller school, but I was on the soccer team there, and I can like if you think of it like that way.
You jock?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yo, you ball, bro?
See these thighs?
No.
Damn. That's an unrepaired ACL.
Yeah, that's no surgery.
He's got
no surgery.
He's got
See
the
that?
checker Vans on.
Yeah.
Doesn't play
like
games.
a straight hipster.
Flexing. Flex.
Man, that's-
Right.
Damn.
Wow.
Careful. You see, I've ripped my pants already, so.
He's like a human.
I could
frog.
tell your experience. Yeah.
No, but like, so the school I went to, if you like weren't on a team, like for the sport or whatever, and this is at like the D3 level, so I can't imagine like a D1 school where it's like majority of it's like athletics.
Yeah.
So that's how mine was, and if you weren't like on a sports team, so we had the soccer house, we threw parties, we had the baseball house, the trying to think if there's
Track house, probably.
yeah, like stuff like that. So
They had that
people would come to
Do
the
you
party.
run, bro? You run too.
Yeah, what's your 4 meter?
What's your 800?
Yeah. What's your 2
4 meters? Like, all right, from there to there, there to the couch. How fast are you?
Bro, I
It's
can run
like-
4 meter in a split second,
Yeah,
dude.
All right, world record.
I'm like 2 seconds. I don't
World
know.
time
I'm a
double
little slow.
No, but it's like, so I understand that, and it's like you know, some of those friends that I made through that like gonna be lifelong. So I get that, but like, I think that's the one thing I understand about fraternity, like that friendship that you get because you're with those guys like all the time.
I think like in sports though it's different, and again I'm not like super athlete.
Well, sports is a fraternity in itself.
Yeah.
Like you're bonding through the camaraderie of suffering,
Right.
which you guys do at training,
Right.
and the camaraderie of glory when you win.
Working
Yeah,
towards
that's
a
real.
goal.
Right, you're all
like-
working towards a goal and using your energy, so it makes sense that you'd be that close.
Right.
But like that's to me
The suffering part's real, man.
Yeah.
We've had tracks.
suffering, bro.
we suffered through track.
suffering. I
Tell me
look
about
back
it.
on my time in cross country. And it's funny because the body I had then I don't have now, right? And so it's like, what was it all for? It taught me to be dedicated, and it gave me a really healthy heart rate. But man, were the practices tough?
Horrible.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you what.
Cross-country was
I'll tell you what. The people who were doing athletics for like their whole life and stop, they gain weight and get fatter faster than people who do not.
Oh yeah,
It's like
because their
like,
body's just like,
bro,
like,
exactly. Your
I have
body's
to
going
make up
100
for all
miles an
this-
hour,
yeah.
and then you stop doing everything. Dude, I tore both my knees and like
Same time.
bro,
his legs are bending over his head.
bro, like you know,
Never played soccer.
drinking like a couple straight 3 like weekend benders. Next, you know, I'm like, whoa.
What's the longest bender you've ever been on?
When I fucked up my PCL freshman year, Actually, I don't know. It's either that one when I messed up my PCL freshman year. That was like drinking during the week, during class,
Jesus, Sheldon.
like on the weekends, like.
You could have talked to me, man.
No, but that was just 'cause, like I
I'm
didn't.
here
I
for
couldn't
support.
No, it's like
Couldn't
it
go
wasn't because I was
anywhere.
upset. It was like
Oh yeah.
I couldn't practice or play the game, so I was
Were
like,
you bedridden, like couch ridden?
Mm-mm.
No.
I never like any injury I had. I
You just
always
kept
got
working
myself
through it.
kept working through it. I never
Yeah.
got surgery. I'm 100% against surgery.
It's
I
Illuminati.
tried to talk to him out of surgery, but he kind of needed surgery.
Yeah, I destroyed my
Yeah,
ACL.
your
like,
situation was really unique.
It was just
I'm super
gone.
glad you're better now, man.
oh
'cause
well,
that was,
yeah,
that
dude.
was rough.
I feel great. I
Yeah.
mean, but every time anyone's like, "What happened?" ACL, they're like, "Oh, football, like
Right.
tennis." I'm like,
He's like, nah, my knee
"Car,
went through my
yeah, I
face."
hit a car."
Car.
It's so like lame, but
no, but like you
I
had to
didn't
get
know, like-
reconstructive because if you
well, yeah,
you didn't
they-
have a knee anymore, like you literally
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
have a knee,
All the pretty much like all the ligaments were just shot.
and you broke your leg too, right?
Bro, I fractured something like within the knee, and then
So for like that, you need to get that.
yeah,
That
and then
has to get fixed.
so then you're literally bedridden, stuck for like 4 months,
Right, 'cause
like
I
3
remember-
months, something
I
like
think
that.
Ben and I
like-
both tore ACL
around the same time, yeah.
like the same weekend or days apart.
Yeah,
It's like it was
yeah,
really
dude. The
weird.
ACL Reaper was coming for everyone.
That's why
Like,
you never even like played sports like that.
No.
So, like that was probably
No.
never in your mind that was gonna happen.
And
to
that's
you
yeah,
in
like
life.
so like after the accident, before I got the scan and everything to see what
Right.
happened, I didn't know that you're supposed to like keep it moving and active.
Mhm.
So I for a week my leg was just propped straight,
Immobilizer.
and it was stiff as shit. Like I
And
couldn't
that'll
bend
set,
it.
that'll set you back like weeks to months.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
it was
how
bad.
stiff it is.
It was bad.
The doc didn't tell you, or you just didn't remember.
Well, so I was on my way to work out towards like Allentown actually. So when I got in the accident, they took me to some like bumblefuck, little country hospital that
Right.
didn't really abide by like probably like most protocols. Like,
Right.
dude, they pumped me full of so much morphine and fentanyl, like, and then was just like, here, you can go. And like didn't tell me like how to use my crutches. I've never been injured, so I'm like,
Yeah, dude.
I
first
stood up,
time
I
I used
almost
the
threw
crutches,
up, like,
You
like
just threw up.
yeah, because they pumped me with so much drugs. I was like,
Ooh.
I almost
Yeah.
threw up too.
but
Not-
yeah, they
just
didn't.
because of like I never had that pain in my life. Like, dude, I was
Yeah.
like, dude, like that's when I was like, yeah, there's something seriously wrong right here.
Nah, dude, the recovery was the worst pain. The actual accident wasn't even bad. Like I
The re-
walked on it. Like
The
I was
recovery,
fine.
the first, so I messed up like him. So first 4 days, I kept it immobilized, meaning I had that shit straight. And then it got to a point where it was getting so swollen, and I was icing it still, and I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. I was like, something's not right here. So, and I had my PT scheduled for a month later because I was going to Germany, right? So I was
You're
like,
insane.
this is like,
I
this is
can't
like,
believe you did that.
bro, this is like a week before Germany. So like, I said, dude, literally, I said, fuck this. Like, I, put my crutches down, and I was taking steps, and I could feel it buckling, and like it was hurting, and I was like, I seriously have to get through this. So, and then I went to my stairs. I couldn't even walk upstairs yet. I literally had one hand on the rail, was going up, stepping on it, putting all my weight on it. Next foot. Next, did that for a day. Next day, had one finger on the rail, doing it again. All my weight, right? Then I'm in my bed, just going like this, just going like that, something, right? And then I'm like, okay, and I still couldn't walk yet, but I can get that bending motion just to get blood in there, dude. It was like blue,
Yeah,
like my shit was blue, and I'm like, and I was taking my kneecap, and my knee, I was just going like it was just all over the place.
Just playing like Pong with it.
Right. So we get to Germany, and this actually might have helped me. So no, we get to Germany. We get to Portugal, and I'm still in the crutches, and I hate the crutches, but I kind of use the crutches to get a better seat. So Natalia and
of
I got
course,
like
yeah.
great seats for all of our flights.
I call that the Disney World strategy.
Right.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you ever want to get on a ride in Disney World, just get a
Mhm.
wheelchair. That's
Right.
it. Just
Or
So-
a concert, they'll bring you right to the front. I
Yeah.
did that for Future, Future and
wait,
Migos.
falsely? Like you didn't even have anything wrong with you?
No, I was still like,
This is after
still
the
needed it a
accident.
little bit, but
Okay.
like not really. I was like,
Right.
I threw on my brace.
Right.
Like I didn't need the brace, but I was still using crutches, and then
Wow,
So-
dude.
I got a police escort, like everything.
Good for you.
Like,
So
was great.
we're in Portugal, and
statute of limitations. Don't worry about that.
That's awesome.
so we're in Portugal, and it's the middle of the night, and I had to use the bathroom, and like I left my luggage. I remember Natalia said, "Move your luggage," so if someone has to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, because it was dark in there, and how they do the lights is like LED based under like the furniture.
Yeah.
So like as soon as you move it, turn on. I tripped over I used the bathroom, and on my way back, I'm like walking, like trying to walk. I tripped over my bag, and I didn't want to catch myself with this, so I tried to. So as I'm stumbling, I like tried to leap onto the bed, and my leg like cracked back, and all I heard was so it just cracked. So I was like, dude, this is bad. So I'm literally Natalia's like dead asleep, and I just hear like the thing's cracking.
It's like making its way down.
I grab my
That's what I imagine.
Yeah,
like a shot of the ice.
Dude, I literally started screaming to the point where I almost passed out, and she like said, "But like grab the pillow." I'm screaming to the pillow, and then it passed after 5 minutes.
Ben
So
is
what I
is
did-
relating hardcore. Right
Yeah, like I'm cringing for this whole.
So, but what I
fucking
did, I broke up a lot of the scar tissue from when it was immobilized. So all the blood and scarring that rested and set because it wasn't moving,
Yeah.
I cracked it all. So the next day,
So it was kind of a positive thing.
It
it
low
was a
key?
loose.
positive thing. It felt loose, right?
Yeah.
So dumped the crutch. I can walk now,
Wow.
right? I'm
Nice.
getting upstairs with no thing,
That's
whatever.
what I should have done, man.
So the hardest thing was we wanted to ride bikes. I couldn't even get on a bike
Yeah,
like
that's a
that.
bad
You know,
idea.
when you do like that,
Yeah, yeah.
couldn't do it. So
Well, they do that for PT. They make you ride a bike like
so 2 weeks later,
backwards.
2 weeks later, I'm back in the States, and my physical therapist is like, all right, so we got to get you on the bike. We got to get you that leg moving, right? Because I lost so much muscle
Mm-hmm.
just from that. And I was gaining weight because I was drinking in Germany the whole time. So
Right.
As you should.
right.
That's what you're supposed
So-
to do.
She has me on the bike, and like I was so scared to do that. I could get here, but I was scared to
Once
to
you
like
bring
that.
it up, or
I could
like you know how it kind of bends.
bring
up,
it,
like,
bring it up.
yeah.
I was scared to bring it up, and then she like got behind like me and just grabbed the pedal and just went like that. So I was like,
Did it
and
pop?
then I was like, no, I was like,
Yeah.
ah, and she's like, nothing happened.
Like you
She's
did.
like, it's
Yeah.
all. She's like, it's all mental.
Dude, PT honestly sounds like a haunted house or something. It's like old people crying and yelling and
Right.
screaming. And it's
Like
like,
a haunted
sounds like
house.
haunted. Yeah, like
That's a
Dude,
great.
but the
Yeah.
most painful thing, she's like, once I did the whole exercise, I was there for like an hour. Then she was like, all right, so I need you to lay down. I'm going to bend your leg for you
Yeah.
and then push down on it. So
Mhm.
your hyperextension and extension or whatever. So she
Yeah.
was bending my leg. Dude, I literally had like tears coming out of my eyes because it hurt
Mhm.
so bad. And then she straightened my leg. And then because I couldn't go like this and I couldn't like fully bend it. So she put her hands here and pushed down to my leg, went straight. Dude, I'm like almost passing out.
Really.
And then she iced it and she was like, all right, be back tomorrow.
Wait, did you ever have to do the strap, the green strap, where they make you like bring it up as close as you can to your body?
Yeah.
That was like that's the first thing they make
Can you
do.
bring your heel to your butt yet?
Probably not.
Yeah, I still
quick
can't.
question. Like, did you guys, after you recovered from your injuries, because you had
Yeah.
similar injuries,
Right.
did you look at walking as like, wow, I always took walking for granted. Like,
For
I did
sure.
it so
Yeah.
effortlessly.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
Because I and my doctor, he was like, he's recommended surgery, and I was like, fuck that, I'm gonna be running within like a month.
It's a bold declaration.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
I
not
was-
saying that.
yeah,
I'm like,
I
I'm
was-
gonna be in
but-
bed forever.
But I was literally
Dang.
running
Like, yeah.
in 2 months, like
I know.
like pretty much sprint. Like because he saw
I
me
was-
because he was still, I think you're still in crutches or something, and we were at a party again, and then you're like, dude, how are you like?
Yeah, it made me mad. Like it made me like
Yeah.
visibly mad
'Cause
that
I
he
even
was
offered
like
him. I was
walking.
like, dude, I'll
Well, I
pick
was-
you up for
at
PT.
one point, I was bedridden.
right.
Like right after surgery, I'm on my phone and I see you walking around Germany, like, and I know you had just gotten the injury. I'm like
Yeah.
my mind was
You're like,
blown
how?
out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
But
I was
you haven't
sprinting
gotten anything
by
like that?
3 months.
You
No,
haven't gotten,
man.
like a heart injury.
I'm very lucky that never happened. First off,
Yeah.
I only played football for a year. I sucked, barely did anything. I played rugby for like a
I think I have a
semester.
picture of my knee on my thing. I'll show you.
Yeah, bring it up. I played rugby for a semester. Luckily, nothing happened. I did martial arts for a little bit. The only thing, I mean like 10 years. The only thing that happened to me there is I fractured my toe one time. The worst pain that I've been in, sorry to be Debbie Downer podcast, was shingles, man. When I got shingles, I wanted to kill myself.
Damn.
Like, it was
Right.
the worst pain I've ever
Oh, dude,
had.
when I had this, I wanted my leg off. I was like, dude, this is terrible.
It's crazy because, like, our lives are so comfortable. Like, every time I look at shots of, like, houses, like,
Right.
you know, and rooms and stuff, you know, pillows and blankets, and that's the kind of
Yeah.
world we're used to today in this contemporary modern America.
Oh,
But as
shit.
soon as we feel a little pain, we're like, kill me now! Kill me now!
Yeah.
I need my medicine! Like, ah!
Well, dude, no,
like, that's
like-
how I was feeling when I had shingles, man.
Look, this
Oh,
is.
it just
See
hurts.
my left leg.
Everything hurts.
Oh,
See
it's
my
weird.
left leg right there. Look how
Yeah.
much bigger it is in my right leg.
It's-
It was so swollen
Yeah,
from
man.
just forcing myself to walk around.
You can see it from the
Yeah.
jeans. But no, shingles.
I like that.
So I guess I'll tell the shingle story. It's interesting for people because usually you
Yeah.
have to be like 60 or 80 when you get
Right.
shingles.
That's what I was gonna say. Was this like the 1800s?
Here's the full story. My parents were in the 1800s because I didn't get the chickenpox vaccine. So your boy got chickenpox.
No vax.
And I don't know if that was the
They
case.
were like, my kid's not gonna be autistic.
Yeah, so
If they survive.
Mom and Dad, I loved you, but you messed up.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got chickenpox when I was a kid, and that virus, as you guys know,
It's
it
dormant.
never goes away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's dormant. So back in 2013, 14, that was a long time ago. I was a lifeguard at a private pool.
Mhm.
Really sweet job because nobody came to this pool. So I would just take the time to draw and to write my journal and like to plan what I was gonna do with like my weekend and stuff.
Right.
And I was out in the sun all day, and I didn't want to be all pale, so I took my shirt off and I would just be in the sun
Ow.
constantly. Yeah, you know what I'm
Ow.
saying? The birds,
Ow.
the few
Yeah.
birds that flew over the pool probably had like a great
Like-
view or whatever.
Yeah.
But so my complexion was getting better. I was like, it's cool. I'm getting a lot of sun, and then I
Yeah.
started to get bumps on me, right? And I was just like, this is probably from poison ivy because I've been
Hives?
out.
Right.
I mean, just like little tiny bumps. I was like, it's
Yeah.
probably poison ivy because I've just been out, like walking around
In
the
the
woods.
woods.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe we're playing catch and like
Yeah, where
something
have
in
you
the
been,
woods.
Andrew?
Yeah, like I was summertime, so I've been outside. I
Yeah.
probably passed by a bush or whatever, and then it just started day by day. There started to be more and more bumps, and I was like, should I be worried about this? And then I was like, I probably shouldn't. I WebMD'd it, and it's just you can never find what you want on
No.
WebMD. It's like, well, it could be this, it could be that.
Yeah.
You have
It's just like-
leukemia.
I'm like, whatever, man. Then I'll never forget one day I like tried to lay down to go to sleep, and I was like, oh, that hurts, and I felt there's bumps in my back. So now there's a whole strip all around of just bumps, and I tried to put my shirt on in the morning, and it hurt putting my shirt on. And I was like, wow, like this really hurts really, really bad.
Yeah.
So what shingles does is it inflames the nerve endings that you have on your
Okay.
skin so that it feels like you're putting a finger inside a cut every time something touches you. So
Wow.
you're literally constantly
That's
burning.
evil, man.
Yeah, it was, dude, I didn't sleep for like 2 days. I watched the entire Attack on Titan when I had shingles because I had nothing else to do. So I associate that anime with pain. Every time I watch it, like I feel the agony I was in.
You get some sting.
It was
like-
so bad. I remember asking. I was just like, I can't believe old people go through this because like first off, I'm able to like I'm young, shake off a little bit, but like old people, they can't even move. It hurt to lay down in bed. It hurt
Yeah.
to put a sheet on. So I just like spent most of the time just like naked
Why-
in my
yeah.
room, like some sort of experiment,
Right.
right?
I've always
So-
heard it. Yeah, I
What?
never knew what it was. I've always just heard the word.
One
shingles
kid in
or
my floor got
psoriasis.
shingles, and school had to ask him to like
Get
he had to
out.
go home because like, dude, when you're in the dorm, that will spread like wildfire.
Anything.
Not
spread.
not only that, but just like it looks so gross. Like when it was drying up, dude, it looked terrible. And
Does it
I'm
usually stay in the body or like
it's
face?
it's
or-
usually your stomach right around here, your
Yeah.
most sensitive part, man.
Yeah.
It just like it inflames there. So the key to beating it is you take baking soda and you dry it out because like the bumps are actually like kind of, I wouldn't say wet, but they're kind of like your palms. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like
almost
they're-
kind of like poison ivy. How
Right.
that makes it like
So you just
Right.
gotta
liquidy.
bathe yourself in baking soda and just dry
Sounds
that
so
out as
gross.
soon as possible. But man, like I remember, and I still maintain it to this day. I don't hate anybody. I don't have any enemy in this world. But if I did, I wouldn't give them shingles. That's how bad it is.
Bro, that's
I'd
I think
give them
I think
death
me and him
first.
said that about
Huh.
like the ACL. I was like, bro, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I've not like a super active person. You know, I
Right.
mean, no one would probably describe me as that. But
Right.
I did do like tennis and snowboarding and all that
Mm.
smaller stuff. But like,
Have
I
you
was
tried snowboarding since?
mm-mm.
I tried it.
Are you afraid?
Last
I know
winter,
you did,
and it
Yeah,
didn't
no,
work
I'm,
out
I'm a
well.
little afraid. Like, someone was saying like, because I don't ski, but I'm like, which one would be better? Like having a board on either foot or having
Locked
both
in.
your feet into one. So it's like,
You think
kinda
a
like-
snowboard would be better?
No, dude, I'm
No,
telling,
no, I
I'm
don't
telling you
think
right
either of
now.
them
I don't think
are,
either's
honestly.
better. So
Yeah.
one of the
'Cause
things
skis
that
will
I struggle
twist.
with,
Mm.
so I can,
Yeah.
I'm like, I can, like, if I want to, I'm fully % active again. Like, I healed myself.
like
to,
you could run right now out the.
Yeah, no
house.
problem.
Alright,
Like,
go.
I ran. Like, get out of here. Oh.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
was
like,
awesome.
so I played a year after I tore it. I played soccer again. Not even like a year, and it was on the field. I got hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bad game. I was like mentally, I just couldn't
Yeah.
go into tackles. Then I played 4 more games, and I felt better. And I was like, okay. And then the last game I played in for soccer, I think someone got hurt, and they tore the ACL. And I was like, and it came back in my head, and I was like, I can't do this again. So I kind of low-key retired from playing soccer at, like, a high level.
Yeah.
Because I was playing in Casa for Philadelphia with my homies, and it's, like, the highest amateur level.
Is that the
for
German
soccer.
league or whatever?
No, that
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
In Trevos?
yeah, UGH.
Yeah.
I played there in
that's
high
the big one I
school.
knew about,
But they play in the PCSL, something like that.
the PCL.
I don't know. So
The ACL.
the Pennsylvania Athletic Soccer League or whatever it is. It's a really
Yeah.
it's a really strong league.
No, dude.
My buddy plays for 'em.
I used to go
But-
snowboarding all the time.
I remember.
I'm too worried about it. Like,
So I went with them
That's
to
how crazy it was, huh?
I went with them to Killington
Yeah,
last
like,
year,
yeah,
and
that's insane. Like, Vermont is,
right.
you know, that's
Yeah.
real. That's real snow. Like,
And I never been there. This is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
first time going, and we went on a very bad weekend.
I
and
know.
thi-
I was at my apartment when you guys left.
and
I
this-
was like, fuck
yeah.
that.
Gus was on this trip with you too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
Mike,
so
Gus,
I know
Mike,
which one you're
Steve,
talking
Yeah.
Elijah, Chris, like Jeff, everyone.
Mhm.
So I wasn't even at a year yet
Mhm.
for like my since I tore my knee. I was like maybe 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, it's. I
And
wouldn't
so-
do that. Like,
So I never snowboarded in. I snowboarded like 3 times, right?
Mhm.
And I never snowboarded in dire situations,
Yeah.
right? It was -50 at this mountain. We were the only ones on the mountain. I swear
was
to
it
God,
snowing or was it like ice or?
dude, it was ice. Like it
Yeah.
was so bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't
So-
even gone out on the mountain, dude. I would just gone to the bar.
So like
just hung out.
So like I said, my
Same.
so like I said, my snowboarding experience was like still relatively new,
Yeah.
and like, dude, like, they only had 2 open. It was a green and a blue, and I think we went on the blue, and dude, I just bought new Oakleys. They're just like frosting, and I'm like, dude, I can't even see, my mask is frost, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so Elijah and I, everyone went forward, and we're staying back, and like the wind was so strong, I'm like falling, and then I'm trying to stand, and I can feel my knee just like.
Yeah.
Like I'm
see,
trying to
that-
turn, and I can feel my knee. I was like,
Nope.
dude, this is not good. I was like, this is not good. So
Mhm.
like, I'm like, I need to hit the ground. So, and I caught myself on something, and then I smashed my good knee on ice, and
yeah,
I was
see,
like,
man,
oh fuck. So I'm sitting there, and I think I heard a pop, and I'm like, I was like, fuck. Right. So I'm sitting there, assessing myself. I go to stand, both my knees are hurting. I'm like, dude, I was like, dude, I can't, like, and like it's getting worse. So the dude on the snow patrol was like, yo, man, I just saw you like take a
shit.
Yeah, he's like, I just saw you fucking hit.
Just saw
He's
you
like-
bust your ass.
Yeah, he was like, dude, I just saw you like eat it, and he was like, are you able to stand? I was like, dude, I think I fucked up my right knee.
Yeah.
So he got me on this thing, and we go to like the medical wing or whatever, and Elijah eventually got down. He meets me in there, and all of them went to go up again, and they got stuck on the chairlift for like 5-10 minutes
That's
while
like
the
that
wind's
movie.
going like.
Oh yeah.
Where the wolves eat the people.
Or they have to jump down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I
and we're-
love snowboarding, but I wouldn't like.
bro, that night,
I wouldn't risk like
Right.
injuring myself.
and
again.
Natalia
I'll
was like,
wait,
Natalia was like, dude, why would you go?
yeah.
Like, you're not even
Probably
at
most
100%.
people Probably
Also,
like-
because like, dude, you're kind of like a taller, bigger guy. Like your knees
Right.
have to put
Yeah.
up with like a lot more, man.
Right.
So it's
Because I'm long,
right.
like tall. He said bigger than most, so it's like I'm like 6'2",
Mm-hmm.
so it's just a lot going on. We say,
It's like 6.5, something like that. I think he threw a couple inches on top.
aren't you 6 foot?
No, I'm like 5'11 and a half. I'm honest.
I'm pretty sure I
with
shoot over you.
myself.
He could probably confirm. I shoot over you.
What?
I said I shoot over you if we stood up.
No way. I don't want to stand. I want people to see how tall I really am. I'm actually 4'2".
I think we're the exact same height.
Who, us?
Yeah, yeah.
Ben, stand up.
Oh God.
Wait,
We're
really?
gonna continue. Yeah, I want you to see. I want you to confirm.
The shot's gonna get it
Confirm.
because I have it.
Confirm how much I shoot over him.
You're over him by a bit.
definitely like
doing
his like.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Why are you on your heels?
Bro, it's his knee injury, man.
Yeah, I got one short leg now. It doesn't-
Obviously, Sheldon's definitely taller.
But so dude, that night my right knee
Oh,
was literally so
No, I
fat, and
wouldn't
I'm
do
like,
that.
dude, this is not worth it.
No.
But I
I-
do want to go again. Not to Killington.
No, but you
But
know,
I
how,
do
like,
want to get out there because the only way you can get your strength up in your knee is if you do what you
Yeah.
used to do.
well, I mean, activities like that, they can be, really good for you because it's almost like an escape. Like when you're
Yeah.
snowboarding, at least
Right.
like you're by yourself unless you're with like your friends and shit. But then you can just go off your own trails, do your own thing, and like you're kind of in your own head. And like that, I mean, I always enjoyed that, and I want to do it again. But it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I put
it's not
like
worth, like,
I put like a
hurting
stretch brace on it just to like.
Yeah,
So for
I
the
can't find a
turning,
good
so it
one.
would just be like, you know,
Yeah.
it keep the knee center.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was worried about. Because I tore my ACL and my MCL.
Yeah.
So the band that's on the inside. That's what I was more worried about.
IT band
turning,
was,
like turning and have the knee just go. Foom.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about.
I don't know, man. I've taken so many tumbles and stuff. Like I don't know how a little car accident was what did it, but like I've taken so many stupid falls from like
not the
high up,
prod
like-
Jumping out of trees and dumb
yeah,
shit.
off buildings.
that
everything.
accident, did that leave you like, because that was a pretty big accident, man, like
Dude,
what was your mental attitude towards it?
So-
If you don't want to talk about it,
No,
it's
it's-
cool, but
No, it's fine. Like
were you how scared were you when it happened?
No, so it's actually pretty, you know, like something kicks in like when something like that happens. Like I was vivid the whole time. I wasn't knocked out, but I just remember, you know, hitting the back of the truck, and then like right away I'm like, I got to get out of the car.
You hydroplaned, right?
Hydroplaned, yeah, in the snow, like straight to the back of a semi, like. And like obviously, if you've ever been in a car accident, you know once it happens, all the electric stuff is shot.
Right.
So I'm hitting the unlock button, and it's not doing anything.
Wow.
And I'm like, the one thing I always remember too is like, I felt like I was like sweating, and I went like this, and my whole head was just like gushing. And I just remember wiping it on the airbag.
What'd you hit your head on?
Yeah,
The
rewind.
steering wheel?
How did you hit your
Steering
head?
Steering wheel.
I wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
Okay.
Make sure you wear your seatbelt.
You
out
had your
there,
doors
kids.
locked though.
Huh?
You had your doors locked though.
Yeah. As I was
always lock
driving.
my doors when I'm driving the car.
Well, like I just remember that smell like of an airbag, and like
Did
just
not deploy?
I vividly, No,
Yeah.
it did.
It did.
I guess I must have like smacked and like I don't know,
Whoa.
but the whole ACL thing was because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so it like I kind of dropped down, and then when it hit the truck, the whole thing dropped my front of the car, so it kind of like pinned it, you know. But
So
I just remember
the front of the car caved in to the point where it was pinning your leg.
Mhm.
That was on the gas.
It pretty much destroyed the whole front of my car and just pushed it into me, you know. So like, but I like I wasn't knocked out. I just vividly remember like being like, I need to get off the highway because there's
Right.
other cars that are probably like me, who didn't stop in time and are now like sliding
Right,
to try and get it all. So, I just couldn't figure out the door for a while. Like it's kind of hard when you're in like a situation like that.
Right.
But the trucker who I hit, he came down, picked me up, put me in the truck of it or the bed of his
Whoa.
truck.
How did he get the door open?
He must have just yanked on
Yanked
it,
it
like
open.
yeah, because
How'd
it was
he
bent
if
in.
your legs
like,
were like stuck under, how would he get you out?
well, like it wasn't pinned to the point where I couldn't like move it.
Move
It was
it.
just like it had been kind of hit and then just given a little bit of space, so I could kind of like dragged like my
so
leg
could you
out.
feel when you were stuck in there? Could you feel pain at that point?
That's what I was gonna ask.
No, so
Not until you got out, right?
no, not like until I went to the hospital like a week later, I didn't think anything was wrong with my knee. Like I knew it hurt, but I didn't know like
Right.
they're like, yeah, it's probably torn, like something. I was like, please just something be broken. Like that's so much
Right,
easier
right,
just to
Right,
break
just to
something.
fix it.
Yeah, but no, and then I just remember being in the back of his truck and vividly telling him like, I was in the accident. This is my name. My head, I hit that. My chest hurts a little bit. Like my leg hurts too. And they're
You're
like,
still bleeding, like blood on your
yeah,
face. Wow,
yeah,
that's
like all
crazy.
over the place. I was wearing my shirt that I got from Japan, like my favorite shirt.
Dang.
And
Ruined.
that day I just happened to be wearing like all my favorite stuff, like my
No.
pants. I was wearing these old Banana Republic black corduroys that like I'd
Dang.
worn in. They were so nice. They had
Right.
to cut them off me.
Whoa.
And yeah, I just remember them like taking me to the hospital. But no, I mean, it didn't hurt until like, I mean, all the pain medication probably wore off. Like,
Right.
dude, they really pump you full of stuff.
But after
like,
the
yeah.
accident, were you like, oh fuck, I'm fucked up right now?
yeah,
Or
for sure. Like,
could you walk, or you were like, dude, I can't walk?
no, I needed that guy's help. I needed the trucker's help just to limp like,
Right.
back into his thing. And then when they took the truck off the highway, like, my car just went with it. Like,
Wow.
it was under there, like, pretty deep. Like,
Where were you on your way to go?
I was on my way to work, so it's a place MCS. Like I can't remember the town it's in, but I just started there like a month earlier, and it was snowing that night and then into the morning, and I texted my boss. I'm like, I don't feel comfortable driving there, and he was like, I think you should really be here.
Really?
Yeah. So I went, drove in, and then got into the accident.
You
so it was
obviously heard about what happened.
yeah, and he was like, you could tell he was like shitting bricks on the other
felt
on the
bad.
other end of the phone.
Snap,
Yeah.
dude.
And like, I mean, they let me go, like
Yeah, that's what I'm
cold-blooded.
surprised about.
Yeah.
They just let you go.
Yeah, which is like I didn't even think you could do that, honestly. But
Oh, you're talking about the company? I thought you were talking about the hospital.
both, yeah, no,
Oh.
the company let me go too, like
That's
a month after getting the surgery and stuff. But I was like, I mean, if they're gonna be like assholes like that
Right.
after I was doing something for them,
Right.
and then they're just gonna do that, I'm like, that's not a place I want to work
Yeah, you're
at
better
anyway.
off.
So, and it was like a bunch of old heads there anyway. They all like didn't think I knew anything, so
Right.
it was probably best that I got out of there. But
Yeah.
that's
definitely not in the way that it happened. But
Did you fall into like a depression? Like, what was your mental state like?
I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Too.
I think it's easy to like
Can't do anything. You're
Yeah.
not even living
you don't
life
see
at that point.
you don't
You're
see your
just-
friends.
Mhm.
You can't do. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too much detail. I don't know, but
You can talk about what you,
you
want,
can't
man.
you can't bathe yourself. You can't go to the bathroom on your own. Like if it's real serious, you know, like you can't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that you, like you said, you take for granted.
Right.
And like at least now, I think about walking probably like every second of the day. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, how do I look? How do I look right now when I'm walking?
Oh,
Like
man.
Oh,
Like,
dude, I check to see
I-
if my knees like
Oh, yeah.
actually, still. If I walk past like a
That's
mirror in the
yeah,
mall,
no, if
I check and see, make sure
yeah.
my knees like doing what it's supposed to do.
well, if I'm walking by myself past like a group of people now, I always think like, am I walking weird in
Right.
front of them? Because now I
Right.
got like a little pimp like
Little
lean
hop
to
to
my
it,
yeah
yeah.
I got a little
One
pet
of the things
mustache.
that I struggled with, cause like, I think we all consider ourselves like fairly independent. We all lived on our own and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So when I hurt my knee,
mm-hmm.
I hated that I had to depend on people to help me.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
So like I was like asking my mom, like I was like,
Yeah.
can you bring the food upstairs? Can you like
Yeah,
help me like get up? Like I hated that.
Dude, that's the
So
one
that's where I
thing.
got into
Yeah.
my depression from, just like from that.
You just
Yeah.
didn't want to be a burden, or you just
Yeah, it's like I'm too young to be a burden.
Well,
that's
that's
how
true,
I felt.
yeah.
I was too young
Dude,
to be
I
a
was
burden.
like I was living in Strawberry, like right next to Strawberry Mansion when this whole thing happened.
Right.
But I was staying back in Ben Salem for a while, like after
Kind of happened.
surgery. Yeah, I couldn't really do anything. But then once I was able to move back to my apartment, I think that's when it probably got like the worst, because like I didn't have anyone. I mean, Mike, of course, is like one of my best friends, and
Right.
he was obviously like always, super supportive, whatever I needed.
Because you guys live together. still.
Yeah,
that
but
point.
but besides that, you kind of get into your own head. You have so much time by yourself that you're just like, you feel like a burden. Like just that's how the human brain
yeah,
works.
just weird stuff your
Our-
head starts
yeah.
telling you.
Our lizard brains, they kind of
Yeah.
they work like weird, but
Yeah, man.
yeah, no. But then honestly, getting sunlight, going to be active again, doing just little small stuff like
It helps.
works wonders. Yeah,
And now you're better.
Yeah.
Even like playing like I haven't done it, but like I kind of minimized like sports that revolve a lot of cutting and stuff. So like even like pickup games of basketball, I'm a little hesitant.
oh, like cuts, like
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to play. Like the jumping motion, I'm fine with, but
Yeah.
it's just like the quick
Back and forth,
acceleration.
snapping back into another
Yeah, just
chain
like
of
just
motion.
Yeah.
a quick like
no,
pop one
I
way.
honestly don't feel like I'm even at that point yet. But that's more on me because I just haven't
Right.
Yeah, but
kept
you-
up with rehab or
Right.
anything like that. Like, I
But you
probably should.
can get back. I will say you can get back to it easy. You just
Yeah.
have to.
But it's so easy
It
to
sucks
lose
in the
it.
wintertime.
It's so easy to lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy story. I'm not sure if I told this, but I have a really good friend at work. He's the IT guy. Every Wednesday we get lunch together, and
Mm.
he's like a OG character, so he's always got like stories for me. And
Yeah,
he,
the
he
old
goes,
head.
he goes, no, for some reason I asked him. I said, "Do you ever go skydiving?" And he was like, "Nah, man. I'm never ever gonna do that." And I
Right.
was just like, "Why?" And he was
Yeah.
just like, "The risk is too high." And I was like, "Well, think about how many people have like successfully skydived, and they have positive things about it." He goes, one of my best friends in college, for his 30th birthday, he went skydiving. This guy apparently was in the plane, right?
Right.
On the way down, like he went through the class, everything, and the first time you go with
Someone on your back, right?
yeah,
It's tandem.
you
Yeah.
have to go with someone on your
Yeah.
back. So Both of them have a parachute. That's how it works, apparently. You have a parachute that comes up, and the guy has a parachute. Only one parachute goes up.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but it's just a just-in-case scenario.
Yeah.
Instructor tries to pull the parachute. Doesn't work.
Hmm.
He pulls his parachute. Doesn't work. Oh. They're falling. They land. No. From a sky. They land. Instructor survives. Completely fine.
Probably because he landed on top of the other.
Exactly.
Wait, hold on. So the chute never deployed.
Never deployed. Hit the ground. By the way, fun fact I learned.
He probably broke some bones, though.
Listen, I learned, and this is for anybody who, by chance, listened to this podcast and simultaneously is falling from a plane.
As we speak.
Don't aim for the water.
It's like concrete.
It's actually better, to hit the ground than it is the water.
Yeah.
And as weird as that sounds,
Right.
it's way better.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how people, when they jump off bridges and stuff,
Right.
it's literally like you just disintegrate. Like, it's...
Yeah.
They say what you should do is try and hit trees. Because at least
breaks the
that'll
fall.
break
Probably,
your
like,
momentum.
breaks
You
it
could get
down.
impaled, but by that point, it's your best bet.
Yeah.
Instructor survives. My buddy's friend, who was celebrating his 30th birthday, survives, paralyzed from the waist down.
Oh, wait, they both survived?
Oh.
Both survived.
From falling 30... How high is it?
It's like 30,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
They both survived from falling 30,000
Yeah.
feet?
Yeah. That guy right now, obviously in a wheelchair for the rest of his life, but he goes around like in motivational speaks like, I survived. And
He's
you
like
know,
a superhuman.
here I am.
That's
but
crazy.
to your point,
Yeah.
super easy to get taken away. Super easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Super easy. That
Yeah, I don't know, man.
there's
That's insane.
Yeah.
dude. That's and listen.
That is some old head stuff to be like, yeah, I'm never doing that. Like,
Yeah, he goes, nah, man,
Yeah, it's
that's
just
not for
not
me.
me, yeah.
I was like, why? He's like, you want to go see me up there?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what do you mean? And he just like told me a story, and then he popped out his Instagram and showed me the guy. He's like, you think I'm lying? This is him. I'm like, oh snap.
Jeez, man.
So yeah, there's things in my life, and we talked about this last podcast that I have zero interest in doing just because I know who I am. Right? Don't want to skydive. I don't have any reason to do it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool, yes, to see the view. I can go up in a helicopter and see the view. I don't need
Yeah.
to skydive, bro. It's too much of a risk.
Dude.
You know? I'm always perplexed at how easily human beings can be damaged. Like, we think.
Dude, we're just a big bag of water and bones. Like,
That's
pretty
exactly
much.
what it is, bro. And you guys have experienced it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, doing graffiti, I fell from some, like, 3 stories.
Wait,
4
what? No, you gotta tell. What? I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah, dude. High school.
Really?
I knew
When I
that.
wasn't I probably should have been hanging out with everyone else. I was doing dumb graffiti
Bro,
shit.
I wasn't doing anything.
But-
I was watching TV.
No, you guys,
You
guys
should have
were
a story.
hanging out.
Bunch
Yeah,
of
no.
fucking losers in your TV.
Yeah, I'm gonna spray some shit.
What
Nah, I just
happened?
remember being in North Philly the one night, and it's a whole thing. I just
Did you go up on
hmm.
a building?
Oh yeah. Well,
Really?
so it's a so you know in North Philly there's
Yeah.
just abandoned
You can use
factories
surnames,
in
by the
neighborhoods.
way. I feel like you're getting uneasy. You can just use fake names, obviously.
Oh no.
All right.
I mean, these guys maybe they're watching right now, but so it was like a factory in a neighborhood, which
Mhm.
is like all of North Philly, and we were dumb like little white kids from Benson. We were like, we wanted to go paint the building, so we went across the street to these guys, and we were like, yo, we're about to go in the building, like, is that cool with you guys? Because we had been robbed like before going into a factory in some neighborhood.
At gunpoint?
Yeah. Like, brought us from the roof down to the bottom, had us sit there. The whole neighborhood's around, like, yelling
What?
shit at us. Yeah.
The first time when you got robbed, or
The
this?
first time, yeah. Well, this time I didn't get robbed, but we were just being cautious because of the other time that we
Right.
got robbed.
What did
so,
they take from you that time?
Well, so they took our cell phones, they took our paint, but then they honestly gave us our cell phones back. They were cool, like.
cool robbers.
Yeah. Well, the one kid that we were with, to this day, he says that he was faking a panic attack when we got robbed, but it looked pretty real to me. I don't know if
He,
he
like,
was
pooped
faking
his
that.
pants, so he's
Yeah.
like,
I was like, what's
"Gotcha."
that smell? Yeah.
It was all gag.
Yeah. They totally believed me.
It was just a joke.
So from that, we asked these guys, we're like, is it cool if we go into this building? They're like, yeah, okay. So we hop the fence, we go in, and we go all the way to the top. And I actually wasn't doing anything that night.
What time at night is this? This is
I
like,
think this is like 12, 1
Okay.
a.m., something like
it's
that.
getting there, yeah.
Yeah. Like, freaks come out at night.
Mhm.
But
2 a.m. is the time, man.
yeah, all
It's
the
getting there.
crazies. But
I don't know why it's 2 a.m. every time too.
yeah,
It is.
It's 2
Dude.
a.m. man.
because everyone else who's out at that time is also doing some
Yeah, that's true.
bad shit. But I actually wasn't doing anything that night. I was just hanging out,
Mhm.
watching my friends paint. And I just remember sitting on the roof, and I see a helicopter in the distance, and I'm like, kind of looks like it's coming towards us.
Right.
And then I looked down on the street that we had just been on where those guys were, and he's running down the street to a cop. There's a cop like up the street, and he's like flagging him down. No. He runs up next to the cop and then points up at us. And I'm like, yo, like, we gotta go.
What?
And yeah, and our friends, my friends were like, you're like, nah, I gotta finish. I'm like, so close. Like, we're almost done.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
all right,
right.
but you better be ready to run. Like, and I was wearing slides at this point too.
You wearing
Nike slides, yeah.
I'm getting anxious thinking about this, man.
So off the bat, pretty good running shoes to have. But
Oh snap.
so
bro.
that helicopter that I'd seen earlier, wouldn't you know, it was coming for us. So
What?
yeah,
How did this happen?
Ben, I've never
Yeah,
heard
yeah.
this story.
Wait, so you saw a helicopter in distance, and you saw at the same time this guy just goes up to the
pointing
cops.
to the cops, yeah. But dude, it gets like,
Hold up, they had time to dispatch a helicopter for you.
well, it must have been in the area or something, because I had seen it before I saw the guy go up to the cops.
okay.
Why
You
do
know?
you think he did that? He just ran up to
He's
the
just
cops.
being a dickhead. I don't know, but I mean,
He was one of your boys?
no, these
Oh,
are the
okay.
guys who lived in that neighborhood
Oh,
who we
yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey, is it cool like if we go
They're
into this
like,
building?
yeah.
We should have just gone in. Like,
They probably were
Yeah.
had something that they didn't want to get in trouble
honestly, a lot of factories are like fronts for drug houses and shit. So maybe he
Okay.
just didn't want us to be, because that's what it was. The time we got robbed, we were in their drug house. Like they one guy brought us down the stairs, and like he went into a room and like came out like 3 floors down. So that's like,
for. Yeah.
obviously they can move up and down the shit easy.
Mhm.
But yeah, so the helicopter's like coming right at us now.
Oh
So I'm
my
like, all
God.
right, no more like
It's
excuses.
ti- yeah,
Yeah, let's get
it's
the
time
fuck
to
out of
go.
here.
Right.
So we jumped into the building, and there was no exits. We couldn't go out the way that we came because the cop was there. So it gets like it gets like a Bond movie at this point. Like we kicked out the wood that was covering up like the busted out window of the back, and right when we kicked it out, the helicopter is right there, like I don't know, 20 or 30 feet up with its spotlight on us. So it's like, it's an old factory, so it's, you know, roof drop like
Yeah.
that. So we were at the second highest
How
roof.
hard is your fast? How fast is your heart
Dude,
beating? I couldn't even.
I've
say
thought about
correctly.
this. The best way to describe it's like a rat like in a cage, like literally like
Right.
you feel helpless. Like there's a helicopter with a spotlight on you. Like
Right.
where are you gonna go?
Oh
But
my
I remember
gosh.
just being up there, and there was a like an old transformer box up there, you know.
Yeah.
And we were just running around it trying to hide from the light, and we were like, yo, we gotta jump, like if we don't want to get caught, we gotta jump. So I remember seeing the one kid I was with, like he's like, I'm gonna jump, and I was like, all right. And I looked over, and he's running, and I looked back, and when I looked over again, he was gone. I was like, did he jump? Like, you're not actually supposed to like jump. You're supposed to like hang drop.
Hang,
yeah,
drop,
like
yeah.
something like a smart person would do.
He
So
was
like
gone.
he was gone. Like like if you can imagine like Wile E. Coyote when he drops off the cliff, and it's just like it was like that, dude. I looked over the edge, and he was like like wind knocked out.
He was on
Might-
the ground.
Yeah, like of the other roof
Whoa.
Oh, he made it to the other roof.
to the lower roof. Yeah.
Is
Like
the
f-
light on him now?
No, so it's still up on us. It's me and this other kid.
Oh.
So we hang drop.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm still in slides. I'm still in slides this
Shouldn't
whole
laugh, I
time.
just think it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out.
Yeah. But dude, these drops were like, whew. That was it was like 30 feet, something, like 35
Really?
feet. Yeah. And so then we're in this corner at
So
this
when
point.
you landed on your feet, did you like did that bounce and you like hit the ground?
I kind of like, boom, and like, you
Right.
know, you hit your,
land on your toes,
like,
right?
like ass to the ground. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
how hard you hit. Like, so then at that point we're in a corner, and now the helicopter
Had to
came
check
back
and see
around.
you're all good. So you're
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm good. I'm like,
Right.
my ankles hurt a little bit, but like I'm
Right,
good.
Right.
I look over and
Slides,
my
too.
friend.
Did you take off the slides before you jumped?
No.
He's probably better off keeping them on. Honestly.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
if you fell with the slides on, you just slip right away. Just
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was. I think that actually worked out the best. But
So you said you looked at your friend.
looked at my friend. He's still like just
The one
not
that
there.
Leaped.
Yeah, yeah. So like, and like you guys know him too, but I'm not gonna say his name on here. But
I feel like I know.
so
who it
like
is.
you probably do. But
Yeah.
so at this point, I had to like grab him,
You're a good
and like
friend.
we're going, and we dropped from that roof onto the train tracks.
Whoa.
Run a little bit, and then the helicopter is now on the train tracks with us, and we like almost like GTA where you hide and your stars go away.
Yeah.
We hid in the bushes along the train tracks, like just don't move,
Like that, don't move.
yeah, like, and we saw the light going by, like looking for us the whole time, and then we just kind of crept down the train tracks, and we saw like paddy wagons driving by, like all like just stopped, like talking to each other and shit.
Whoa.
And you know, we kind of like army crawled across the overpasses and stuff, and then made it back to my car.
Hold up, you didn't get caught?
No, dude, made it back to my car that I had parked like, I don't even remember. I think it was just like near Aramingo, but got in that. I don't think I've ever driven so fast. I was
You drove fast? I would've
Woo!
drove, man.
No, dude, I was out. Like I got 95, or I probably drove normal until we got into 95,
Right.
and then I was just
Just
like,
gone.
phew, like, whoo, that shit was
That's a good
bad,
story.
man.
That's
yeah.
the greatest story that's
Dude.
ever been told in this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious.
And like, dude, I get legit like flashbacks from that. Like,
Really?
if I think about it, yeah. But
was that the last time you ever went graffiti? I said graffiti.
It probably
like
should
it's-
be.
Like it's skating.
I honestly couldn't tell you if it was. I don't remember, but I would hope so, because that thing like woke me up so much. Like, it
I
was-
would hope so.
Yeah.
I thought maybe the gunpoint one would. woke
Yeah,
you
no,
up.
that wasn't no.
How'd that happen? The guy just saw. He's like, "Yo, come here."
That's what I
No,
wanna
no.
know.
So we were up on this roof. It was in the middle of like some Spanish
Bro,
neighborhood
what are you Ninja
Right.
Turtle
near
up on
like
these
Erie.
roofs,
Yeah,
bro?
yeah.
That's what all the graffiti.
Yeah, we were
is
like
done.
pushing each other and doing flips up the stuff. No, like
I
yeah,
almost believed it.
yeah.
After that helicopter story, anything could happen.
Like acrobatics, like throwing each other up on the roof.
Dude, your heartbeat when the helicopter, your heartbeat was probably so loud you couldn't hear anything.
No, yeah, and I couldn't think. Like tunnel vision.
Right.
It just you're just like
Survival instinct.
next move.
I'm just
but,
imagining it and just hearing like.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just this giant machine looking at you.
well, dude,
I'm like,
I'll never forget just kicking out that wood piece, and it's like right there, and you can't go back in the building because they're already at the bottom
they're
on the other
coming up.
side. Yeah, so, but
You got
yeah,
robbed.
no, the robbery one.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of like some Spanish neighborhood like near Erie. I don't know if you guys know like Erie. It's not the best, but yeah, we went up to the top of this roof, and again, I don't even think I was painting that day. I think I was just hanging out, and these guys came up and they were like, "Yo, do you know like where you are right now?" Like they were asking us if I guess like if you're in like a gang or if you're part of like another gang, like you would know what to say
They
back
were
or
fishing.
something.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
fishing.
yeah. So I mean, we're a bunch of white kids. They probably didn't think we were in a gang. I mean, we're like, no,
Did
like
you have
we're
your glasses on?
you know, I didn't wear glasses for a long time. I probably should have. I wouldn't be in most of the situations I'm in. But
Right.
but no. And then they're like, come down with us, and like, I mean, it was like 4 of them, 5 of
Right.
them, and it was like 2 or 3 of us. So
What was their attitude when they said that? Like more militant, like you're in trouble kind of thing?
like I've never been to prison, but imagine getting bitched out on the yard or something. That's like what it felt like.
Right.
Like you don't have a choice. Like you're coming
Right.
down with us.
And
So-
they just and
Yeah,
then
no.
you got down.
So the thing, like, also the one guy had like a legit gun. Like none of them wearing shirts. One dude had the gun like
Right.
tucked,
what the heck?
and then they just made us run our pockets. Like one of the kids had his shoe and his phone. They didn't like that. They're like, "Oh, you're hiding shit." Like so you do know what's up. Like you've been in. So like, you know, we were playing it like we're just some like innocent little
Yeah, right.
suburban kids, but they're like, "Oh, so you know the drill." Like, so they were getting mad, and then like, one of the guys, like, I mean, I'd like to talk to this one guy because he had like a change of heart as we were walking down the stairs. He was like, "Man, just give them their phones back,"
Really?
which like is probably unheard of in a robbery. Like they would
Right.
just take anything they can.
Right.
These
Did you
this
say
guy-
were you saying anything to them, or were you just like quiet?
No,
You're
I
like,
think I was
"Whoa,
just walking down.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
whatever. It's a
nothing I'm
loss."
saying is gonna
Take it
and then they
out.
sat us down like outside. Like I guess they were figuring out like what they were gonna do, you know, if they were just gonna let us go or beat us up. I don't know. But then I guess they got the okay, and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like that kid was having a fake panic attack.
Yeah, what was your boy doing?
He was like,
For real?
"I can't breathe. I can't breathe." I'm
Right.
like, dude, shut. I mean, maybe he was. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
But just me, I'm sitting
most
there
likely
like-
that was his like defense
Yeah.
mechanism
I'm
against us.
Were you prepared to like get shot or your ass beat?
I mean, I don't think. Can you be prepared to get shot?
No,
Or,
but I'm
like-
saying were you mentally like, here it comes? Like,
Yeah. Well, I guess at that point, yeah, I was like,
Really?
honestly, at that point, I
See,
was
what-
doing just some dumb shit that I just didn't.
Right.
I didn't even think about like if someone could kill me, you know, or
Right.
something like that. Like, it just
Right.
didn't even cross my mind. Even though it's, I mean, I've heard stories of graffiti people getting shot or, you know, fucking stabbed and stuff.
Right.
Well, you've had so many more life experiences than me. I never got robbed either, bro.
It's not fun.
Nah, I don't want it to happen.
You really can't even count that as robbery. They gave me my stuff back.
Even the money.
No, I didn't have any money. Like, I was
Good
broke,
move.
dude.
Fair enough.
Good
But I just remember,
Because I live in Philly. I don't carry any cash on me, bro.
yeah, no,
Either one.
Zero.
no, same. I'll bring like my ID and my
Cards.
card.
I'll
Yeah,
give you that card and cancel it.
Right.
10 minutes.
yeah. They're like, you
Right,
better
that's
not
it.
cancel that shit.
Don't cancel it either, bro.
Yeah. Well, no, I think they'll take
Oh,
you to
no.
ATM now. They'll just take you to ATM. Be like, take
Yeah, but
this
all you have
money
to
out,
do
like,
is just enter the wrong number.
and then they kill you. Like the thing takes
Well,
your card, and
At
you're
least,
like,
at least they kill me with the TD Bank
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
Find the
That's
murderer.
that's
Yeah,
like that's
they
like
don't
super
get my-
federal offense right there.
I'd be like,
Right.
shit, man, take my money. It's
That's-
on film.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, did you think when they pulled out the gun, were you thinking to yourself?
I didn't
these-
feel threatened. If
Oh
that's
yeah,
what you mean.
I was
like-
gonna say like,
No.
are these the type of guys?
Because
that
it
really
wasn't.
Use it?
No, because
They didn't point it.
no. So it was just in his waistband the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Just the fact that I knew that it could be used. That was
Right.
like, that was
Oh,
enough
yeah.
for me to not like
For
try
sure.
and
Walk
run.
around,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
because, and also they were like, we got people waiting downstairs. You know, we got people. They ran the whole neighborhood, so it's like not like
Really?
it's not like yeah we could like jump one of the guys and run out or you
Right.
know something like that. So it was like helpless. Like what are you gonna do in that
Yeah,
situation?
that's
you
a
just
crazy
you just take
situation.
it. Yeah, but I just remember running, not running, but sort of running, like a brisk walk. They're like, get the fuck out, like go.
Yeah, just
like get out of
before
here.
we change our minds.
And as we're
kinda.
going down the street, everyone is out on their porch, on their stoops,
looking
like,
at you
yeah,
guys.
white boy, fuck you, white boy.
Really?
I'm trying so hard not to laugh because I'm just like,
'Cause
I don't
it-
give a fuck.
it's too typical, yeah.
Yeah, like,
So
I mean, I know I'm white.
So I mean, gun controversy is a big thing nowadays.
Yeah.
After having an experience like that, like, do you ever think to yourself, like, man, I should probably carry a gun?
Dude, living in the city makes you feel like that. I mean,
Really?
yeah, I mean,
I live in Fairmount. I live in the
Yeah.
most gentrified area of
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
yeah.
I feel no
even
fear.
dude, even Manayunk is like that too. But,
Manayunk gets a little weird at night.
huh?
Manayunk.
Manayunk, it's more Roxborough. Like all the people that come from Roxborough. It's
Yeah.
not. I don't know.
I've
Maybe
I've
maybe
seen
it's
some,
not. But
some fights. There was a fight outside
Oh,
the
yeah.
pizza place in Manayunk, bro.
dude, there's. So I'm part of the Facebook group. Obviously, like you know when you join like a neighborhood in Philly, you gotta join the Facebook group to
Oh, man.
come up on all the drama, all
I'm-
that stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
late to that. No, I
dude.
didn't
There's
join.
been like fight clubs going on with all the high schoolers. Like there's a 7-Eleven and like a Sunoco next to my place, and apparently after school they all meet up in the Sunoco and like beat up random people walking by and like run in front of the traffic.
Not
and
me,
shit.
cuz.
Yeah, no.
Not me, cuz. That's not
No.
gonna fly.
Yeah, so I'm like, shit, like I want to go to 7-Eleven and get something, but like I'm not trying to get jumped by like 20 high schoolers. Like, that's like corny as that sounds,
That's
I guess.
It's
But
so annoying.
but yeah, no, like
You wanna
You gotta
run
at least
this?
take out 3.
yeah, no, I don't feel the need to have a gun in Manayunk, but
I don't-
I mean, I don't know. It sounds like over dramatic, but the way things seem to be going, I would
Maybe.
like to have something to arm myself.
Right.
I feel that.
I don't want
man.
to sound like some like nut job, but like
Right.
You don't, bro.
yeah,
You
like I'd
don't.
rather be prepared.
Yeah. I've never been in a situation like that. Like the
Mm.
most fear I've ever felt was dogs in Philadelphia. Like
Mhm.
I kind of have like a phobia of dogs. Like after what happened to me at like Temple and some other places, man.
What
Like,
happened to your temple?
bro.
I know about the taxi,
It
which I'm
was-
surprised you didn't get injured doing that.
Yeah, the taxi was like a wake up call. It's like, hey, stupid, you could die any day. Like
Yeah.
that's what that was. But
helmet.
like I'm not afraid of cars. I have no choice. You know, like, I still bike to work every day.
Yeah.
So it's still early in the morning. I yelled at some guy the other day
Yeah.
because he wasn't taking the stop sign seriously. But and that's usually not me. But
yeah.
so the first run in with Philadelphia pit bulls, man. It was a just classic college bar night where like you go to like somebody's like, yo, I'm gonna be at this bar like at this time.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I'll come for a little bit.
Yeah.
Came for like 15 minutes. Of course, I wasn't feeling it. Just I said goodbye to everybody, and I'm not gonna take anyone to walk with me because people
Right.
are having a good time. So I decided that
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk by myself. to
Plus,
the
you're a
apartment.
guy too. It's almost like a stigma. Like
That's the thing, man. Yeah, like
You
when
don't
I was
ask
at
someone to go
RA,
with you,
I would
like-
tell everybody at all my residents at Temple, like, look, you know, if you're a girl and you're going out, please just take like 2 people with you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, just take the
Yeah.
time to get that happening. But with me, like, I'm like whatever. You know, I've been in situations where stuff got a little sticky with people, but it's never been that bad, you know?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm walking and I see this dog just kind of just going back and forth on the sidewalk in front of me. So I'm like, oh man, like that dog doesn't have a leash and there's no one around it. So I'm going to cross over to the other side of the street, right? I'm going to wait till the car stop. I'm going to cross over to the other side of the street and just walk up that way, cross back to get to my apartment. So I see the dog. The dog's walking back and forth. It sees me. It stops. Like it does that thing where the dog puts its head up like that. And so I walk to the other side of the street. I'm like, I'm not even going to.
Right.
Now I'm on the other side of the street and I'm walking. And I'm like, that was weird. And I hear this low, like, and I'm like, huh? Turn around. It's the same dog. Has crossed over to the other side of the street with me. Is now behind me.
It's big bully.
Right? And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I whip around, right? Because there's no, like, I'm not going to be like, just keep walking. At this point, I know the dog's interested in me. And from what I know about, like, just predatorial animals, it's best to acknowledge their presence than try and be like, I can't see you, because that's when they attack. So I whipped around, looked at this thing, and as soon as I whip around, it's rah, 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 like it starts getting crazy. It goes back on its legs like this and rah, 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 and starts like nipping at me, right? So I'm
It's
back,
that close?
Yeah, I'm backing up because it's starting to nip at my legs, and the whole time I'm thinking like, what do I do? Like, I've done 8 years of martial arts. I'm not Jackie Chan, but like, if somebody was attacking me right now, like I'd punch them in their face or hit them. I'd probably take a hit too, but like, what am I gonna, if I kick this dog, it's gonna bite me. Like, what am I gonna do?
That's for sure what
And
would happen.
as soon as like I'm in like panic mode, I hear some lady from across the street where I just crossed over go, hey, whatever its name was, like, Rex, shut up, stupid idiot. Like, start insulting the
real
dog,
good
like,
environment.
Come over here. And the dog just like put its head down and like
Oh,
walked
man.
over. It
What
was
you got
pre-
to
it was
what
pretty
you have to do
obedient.
if you have a situation like that, like you have to remain calm as possible.
That's what I tried, but bro, my head was not. I was
Yeah.
like, so I get back to the
It's easier
I
said
get
than
back to
done.
the apartment and I'm
I've been
breathing
there with a
super heavy.
Rottweiler once.
I had a roommate named Khalif that I should probably bring on this podcast. He grew up in North Philly all of his life, so he knows all the stuff about like block captains and like cops and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Leaf, what do you do, man, if a dog is trying to attack you out here? He's like, yo, that's he always go, He's like, man, dog, you need to get up on top of a car, man. He's like, a dog can't get you when you get on top of a car, man. They can't stick to that, you know what I'm saying? So I started looking up online, and it's
Words
true.
of wisdom, man.
And when you're in Philadelphia,
Yeah,
there's
that's
cars that are parked on the side. You just get on top of the roof, and the dog
Yeah.
can't get up there. That's
Yeah.
option one. The other option is to walk around with bear mace on you and just hit that dog full force.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've been attacked like 2 other times, man. And like that's my big fear
Yeah.
walking around
No,
Philadelphia.
I think
don't wanna see a
I think
dog.
everyone thinks like if a police dog was attacking me, like
The dog, I'd punch him in
I'd
his
kick
face.
it. Like
Yeah,
I'd
that
kick
dog
him
will
in his
fuck
nose.
yeah,
you
like
up. That
like
dog
like
will
a police
destroy you.
dog isn't trained to like dip or get hit and then like bite
Right.
you after you just
It's
made it more mad.
It's
like
trained to keep going.
Yeah.
until someone
Here's what's gonna
gets
happen.
there.
yeah, I'm
that-
sure your little kick's not gonna do
That dog
it.
start at your arm, then it'll go for the neck.
It's gonna go for your neck. It might even go for your dick. Like you really need to be
Ooh.
careful.
Yeah,
with
Dude, if it
dogs,
bites
man.
my
Like,
dick off,
I think the,
just kill me. Just,
think the
just go for the
craziest-
neck.
yeah, I think the weirdest situation I was in, it was a Thursday night. It was a blizzard that snowstorm that we had in Philly. I was at work a
Oh, wait,
couple
this
weeks
past
ago.
one?
Yeah, the last big one where like the whole city was shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I worked from
95.
home. Yeah, that was great.
So I didn't know it was supposed to snow,
Sweet.
and we had a going away party. So everyone like, and dude, they didn't let us leave the office early. Like we were gonna cancel the party, but we got stuck down there.
Mm-hmm.
They'd canceled Trenton line. The whole line was canceled. There was no trains going in or out of the city, right? For at least 5 hours. So we're bar hopping at this point. Then we go to Tavern on Broad. It's getting late. It's like I think close to 12:30 at night. I'm like, dude, I'm ready to go home. I look at Uber. Uber says 150. I'm like, I'm not going home yet. I'm not going home
Might
It's
yet.
as well-
150.
Might as well
How-
just
how many people
sign
were you
up for
with?
Uber.
It was like, I'm the only one that lives in Ben Salem though. So like
Okay.
two of them,
Oh,
two of
yeah,
them
yeah.
lived in Manayunk. One lives
Shit, man.
past me.
Could have came over.
But I wasn't thinking. Like I'm like drunk, and I'm like, dude, I want to go home. So I checked SEPTA, and they were like, trains are resuming. The last trains are resuming in 20 minutes. I say to my boy Vince, I was like, yo, we gotta go. So we're at Tavern on Broad, right? No, wait, I think we're on Tavern on Broad. I forget where we were, but we went to Suburban Station, which is on 15th,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And like, it was closed. So we're like, dude, we gotta take like, you know that underground passage that goes like 2 blocks to get to
Yeah,
13th?
yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're gonna take that underground passage. We get down there, bro. It is so dark, right? and I see fires lit down there, bro. It was literally, I swear to God, it was like the homeless network.
I was gonna say like apocalypse or something.
Bro,
Like,
it literally. You ever remember I'm trying to think of like a movie. No, remember we were in Germany and we were going to that. We had to try to go to that one club, and there was all the homeless tents, and it was like homeless city.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Bumville, we call it.
Imagine that by like at least 50 million.
Whoa.
Yo, so
and they all want money.
Yeah, so
they
we're
all
walking
want
down
something.
there,
That's
and
crazy.
I'm like, we walked down there, and dude, as soon as we got to the bottom of the steps and we turned to left, I was like, fuck, and it was so dark, and I could see the light all the way down. That's where we had to go, 2 blocks.
That's like
2 blocks walking underground.
Mm-mm.
So we're like, what? I was like, fuck. I look at Vince. Vince, he's 6'8". I'm 6'1", 6'2".
That's good. That's a good start.
Whereas I'm like, yo, we're pretty big dudes.
Yeah.
I think we can I can take at least maybe 2 before they all get out. So
they all just bounce
Right.
on you.
You treat these homeless people like they're zombies.
Like they're the dog that you ran into.
I'm gonna tell you why. So this is why I got sketchy. So we walk down, and a couple of them, dude, I thought they were like dead sleeping. They get up, hey, and then next thing you know, hey, and I'm like, dude, chain reaction. I'm like,
Wait, was it like a intimidating hey or
no,
like
it's
a hey?
Let's talk.
because they see what we're wearing,
Uh.
and then a couple of them get up, they're like money, and I'm like, dude, this is getting weird. So like we're still walking normal and calm, and I'm just like, I was like, fuck, dude. And then some dude was
Desperate people do desperate things.
some
So
dude,
I feel
some
you.
dude was
Yeah.
walking towards us like this, right? So I'm like staring at his
Ooh.
hands. We're walking by. We're at this point now, right? And that's what I'm thinking. So I like take my hands out,
quick
like just
shank.
to,
Be
you know,
like, yo, I got
get ready.
hands. Yeah,
Right.
I got them hands.
So we're like looking at each other like this. We're just like looking at each other, and then like we pass each other, and I'm like,
Oh,
I was like, fuck, and I was like, dude, I have to like keep an eye on him. So I'm just
Yeah.
like walking, like just going like that,
Yeah.
and then I see more people get up, and Vince is like, he's like, dude, we're almost there. So we get there, and then I like turn around, and it was like a fucking movie, dude. Like a lot of them were just like waking up and like looking to see who just like walked through their territory.
whoa.
Bro, that was the sketchiest and the weirdest.
All it takes is a couple hours and they
Right.
they overtake the whole tunnel. Like,
Bro, and I was
That's
like,
crazy.
I didn't know this existed. That
Yeah.
there was like an underground passage from 15th to 13th
yeah,
for the to walk through, so you don't have to walk outside.
yeah,
And dude, it smelled
terrible.
so bad down there, like overwhelming. And I was
Because
like,
of the territory.
right.
It's all a bunch of homeless
And bro,
people.
like, dude, we got out, and I was just like,
yeah,
I thought I was having like, not a panic attack, but I was just like, dude, like that's
Yeah?
annoying.
Thank
you know what I
God
mean?
we
I was
got
like,
out of
that's annoying.
I mean,
Like getting in
I don't know.
situations.
Do you
like
guys
that.
get panic attacks?
I don't think I ever had
Not like
one.
full fledged like panic attack, but like
No, but I will like that situation. My anxiety was like,
yeah,
I can feel it increasing. It was like I was like,
yeah.
I've got to a point where like I felt so agitated that I needed to do something physically. You know what I'm saying? But I don't
Like
think
to like break out. Like
I went and ran.
yeah,
There was something that happened like a few months ago that I was just like so bothered by that like I couldn't. It was like 2:00 in the morning.
Had
I
to
was
get
like,
your
it's
mind
time
off.
to run.
Yeah.
And I just like put my shoes in and I went.
Is this when you ran through some street with that guy? Is this the story you're telling?
Oh no, that was years ago. That was
Okay.
years ago. But no, I think my natural inclination is when my anxiety is highest to trying to do something physical. I've
take your
never had a
mind off
panic
it.
attack though.
yeah.
Right.
No, I don't think I have either. I just get like
You're one of the calmest people I've ever met.
think so.
You're very, very like subdued.
I don't know, but
I've never seen you get loud or anything.
yeah, I don't get too loud.
I don't know. I seen him pretty annoyed when we were getting followed by a homeless man. For
Yeah, I was like, leave me the fuck
15
alone.
minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
snap.
mad. Well, that's not even like that's
Yeah.
like that's timid.
Not even
But,
just a story.
yeah, that was. I could see there was some anger brewing. for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I love giving money if I can to like homeless
I
people
have
and
it,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. Like trust me, I give food whatever I can,
Yeah.
which most of the time they don't want. But
Right.
but it's when they don't stop. It's like, come on, man. Like you know we're not from here. Just
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah, there's
like,
a language barrier.
yeah.
a little
I was
bit.
watching Game Grumps the other day. Well, no, not the other day. I've been watching it for a while, but I remember Aaron said something one time in the episode. He goes, "The best thing to do with homeless people is to acknowledge them and say, 'I can't help you.' Like
Yeah.
so that they know that you see them and that you answer them instead of ignore them." He's like,
Mhm.
"Because the more you ignore them, the more they
Well,
feel like they can do whatever
yeah.
they want because you
Right.
don't care."
On the flip side, I've had homeless people where I said something like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything. They're like, well, fuck you then.
I've had that too.
And I'm like,
I'd-
all right, well
I'd-
then fuck you too.
I've had that.
I'd
You know,
rather
like-
have that
Yeah.
than somebody like keep bothering me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'd just be like, yo, sorry man, I can't help you.
At
Like
least
that's my line.
I think it's cultural. I don't know. I don't see that too much here.
Mm-hmm.
Like persistent. Like, come on, man. Like, let me. That was more something I saw in Europe.
Yeah.
Like Paris was so annoying.
They
like it's a beautiful city, but
It's homeless.
they don't
is
stop.
bad.
Yeah, it's like
It's bad.
That's how it is.
And
Yeah.
they'll pester you.
they'll
for
put
a
stuff
while.
in your hands
That's how
and
it-
then tell you to pay. It's like, man,
yeah.
it's not like I'm like from the country. Like I didn't grow up with this stuff.
That's
like,
the thing. It's like you want to help. I think any decent person wants to
Mhm.
help. My uncle Danny, man, he always told me like I carry snacks on me when I go to urban places,
Yeah.
in case somebody asks for something, I give them food. I
Mhm.
never give them money. Like if you're hungry, I got you. If you need a water bottle, I got you on that.
yeah.
But I can't give you money, bro. Like it's so my thing is when I traveled to Europe, I was way too young to enjoy Italy. The first time I went
Yeah.
to visit family was
wanna
in
go
4th
there.
grade.
Yeah,
I was in
I want to go to Italy.
Well, it's amazing. It's life changing. But the first time I went there, I was like, "What is this place?" Because exactly like you said, there was homeless people that were so insistent
yeah,
that
man.
I was too young to process it, and it really bothered me. But when the older you get, and the more you put things in perspective, it's like, yes, you want to help people. When you have the opportunity to help them,
Yeah.
you should. But like, first off, you can't feel guilty for not helping someone out. And secondly, someone who's desperate and you say no,
Yeah.
they can't get mad at you for saying no.
Well, you
And
would
as
think.
as soon as that
But-
happens,
Logically.
Yeah.
well, they're really just mad at like
their own situation.
right, their
yeah.
own situation. So as soon as that reaction happens,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay.
I
completely
see what's
check out.
happening. Yeah.
I completely check
Well,
out.
no,
dude.
there's guys that hang out in front of the 7-Eleven by my apartment,
Mhm.
and you can't go in there without them being like, "Yo, bro, let me get $2, let me get whatever."
Yeah.
And like the first time I saw him, I gave him money
Mm-hmm.
because I was just being nice. And then I saw him there the next day and the next day, and they're wearing like Jordan, they're wearing like new shit, and I'm like,
Mhm.
like bummy, like I'm like, no, man. So
Right.
I honestly would just say no,
Yeah.
or I'll just ignore him and just keep walking.
Yeah, I
Because I don't know who to
developed-
trust, man.
I
don't
developed
know.
the skin of just ignoring and keep
Yeah.
walking.
Well-
and that's what I was trying to like say. That's what you have to do in Europe. Like, do not acknowledge
Yeah, yeah.
them. Because
Mhm.
in Europe, it's 100 times worse than here.
Yeah.
Whereas if you say, "Oh no," they'll be like, "Okay, God bless, thank you, whatever."
It's more
Europe,
accepted.
It's bad.
Like
Yeah.
homelessness is more accepted, I think.
Here or there.
In Europe, it
In
felt
Europe.
like it was like, you know,
like
bum
its own
city. Like it
culture.
was legit towns of
Yeah.
tents and stuff.
I,
like
I'm
you see that here sometimes, but I don't know. It just
their
seemed,
their job, the job market in Europe is so skewed, and it's so difficult to be
Yeah.
employed there that there is a larger. That's why people are like, yo, America should be more like Europe. I'm not a political
is it all
guy.
like trade centric? Like it's all about like
In Europe,
yeah, like
Mostly.
it's a lot. It's also
Yeah.
a lot more unions too.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
More different. But they also have a better culture. See, it's like a give and take. They have a worse like business structure model, but they have a phenomenal leisure. Like,
oh, okay
you know how kind
Yeah.
of here we like work to like
to live.
you work to live.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, to put a
It's-
roof over your head.
It's almost like opposite in
Yeah.
certain countries over there.
Yeah, but
That's
then
how
you,
it seemed,
you
yeah.
see a lot of homeless people, right? So
Yeah.
it's like part of that is culture because Ben's been to Japan, and how many homeless people do you see in Japan? Goose. You
Yeah.
don't. You don't.
Really.
Not
Oh,
that
yeah.
they don't exist, but they would
They would
rather
kill
kill
themselves,
themselves
yeah.
than ask you for money.
And we went through the suicide forest, like not walk through it, but we drove up because it's on Mount Fuji.
Mhm.
You know, it's at the bottom of Mount Fuji.
Right.
So we were driving through, and that thing is aptly named. Like it's definitely named Suicide Forest for a reason
Dark
because it
energy
looks
about it, huh?
so freaky. Like
Yeah.
middle of
It's
the day,
dense,
just
right?
fog rolling through,
it's
moss,
just
all these.
dense.
Yeah.
Like it goes far back.
Yeah, you could definitely get lost
in
It's massive.
But yeah,
People say
the-
it's easy to get lost.
But
in
yeah,
there,
there's homeless is non-existent in Japan.
too. Yeah,
but-
it's a cultural thing. Whereas in
Yeah.
Europe, I mean, you have, like I said, an economy.
There's a lot
that's-
of refugees in Europe too, because a lot of the borders are open because they're literally next to war-torn countries.
That's
Yeah.
true, man. That in
And like
Italy,
I
there's
guess
a ton.
maybe like drug
Yeah.
use is more accepted in Europe too.
Mhm.
It
Not in
is.
Japan.
I mean, we've seen it. In,
You
Yeah.
can't have tattoos in Japan. They
Yeah.
look at you like you're crazy.
You can a little bit now, but it's like
Yeah,
right. Like
you're not allowed
it's-
in onsen. I've never
Yeah.
been to onsen where they have
It's
not
like
allowed.
I don't get the appeal of an onsen. Like
I like it, man.
it was like relaxing, but at
What
the
is
same time, is it onsen? It's like a community bath, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
like
they have-
spring, kind of.
well, they got like cold baths, electric baths.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
anything you can think of. Pretty much saunas.
I went there. I'll give you an example. Like I went there last year around this time, and they have, because it's winter, they have an outside waterfall that's just hot water.
Yeah.
And you can go out there
and it like drips
sit.
down from the rocks and stuff.
So are you for the onsen?
I'm for it, man. You just, this is what it is, dude. You get naked, right?
Mhm.
Right.
You shower.
Right.
You scrub.
If that's how you shower.
They made
dude, that's
they
crazy.
made me sit on a
'cause
bucket.
They sit on stools or buckets, right? And they
Yeah.
just,
So they had buckets where I was at. It was a small one in Kyoto, like
Mhm.
neighborhood. You know,
Yeah.
right across. I got like a couple beers, but it's just a bunch of old people. Like I didn't want to. I mean, like I was in a different culture, so
Right.
of course, like I'm just gonna accept whatever. But like,
Mhm.
you some stuff you don't want to see, man.
here's how the onsen experience goes, man. So like here in America, you're an older businessman and you just get done your shift. You and your guys are going to the bar and you're gonna talk about the wife or whatever, and you know, then we're gonna go
throw
back
some
home.
shots back and
Right,
watch
throw
the
some
game
shots
or
back.
something.
In Japan, it's like, oh man, we just came off a really hard day at work. It's time to go to the bathhouse. So like all the coworkers go to the bathhouse. They shower and they just sit in this hot
Yeah.
tub and they chill.
And
I
separated
feel like
men and women.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything.
I know that.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything. They just make sure that you're clean beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Then you come. There's like one where we're literally soaking in what was basically hot tea. Like it was water that just had like herbs
Sounds
in
amazing.
it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then there was the one where you can go outside, so it's really really cold outside, but you're in hot water. It feels awesome.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you're naked and like. I did get stared at a little bit because I'm different, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, from like 99% of the people that walk in
Yeah.
there.
Right.
But like,
No, you definitely like you can feel the eyes on you
yeah,
when
you
you
can
come
feel
in.
the eyes on you, but it's like.
No, I
Whatever.
met
It's
some
just-
French guys who were there. Like it was so weird.
Right.
It's like
I didn't talk to
yeah.
anybody because it's too awkward. But like,
Yeah.
you're just chilling, man.
it was so awkward. I had to say something. That's
Really?
how awkward.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
for me, I was
it was
like,
one of those where I was
like,
like,
I'm not trying to talk to another
It'd be too
man while
awkward
I'm
just
naked.
to-
Like, that's,
yeah.
that's not gonna work for me.
It was
bro.
just too awkward to
just
sit
in
there,
the
like-
water, yo.
like, you know, you had to break the ice at some point. But they had this crazy bath where they sent electric currents through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like tingly.
Dude,
Feels good. They say
it's
if you have like
nice.
a pacemaker, you can't go because it'll like
Makes
short it.
sense.
But
Here's my problem with
yeah.
it. I think you should try it if you're going to Japan. But like,
here,
I'm not trying to sit and just relax on a trip. Like, I only have
Yeah.
limited time to see stuff, so I'm not just gonna be like chilling all day. That's
But
more
yeah.
of like if you live in Japan or you're there for a year or like a
Yeah.
few months. Then okay,
I mean,
I'm gonna go chill.
like Kyoto in the summertime, it was like hot, sticky,
Yeah.
filled with tourists, and we were there for like 2-3 days. So we were just like at night, we were staying above some bar, and they made like some of the best fried chicken I've ever had.
Right.
Yeah, with like little sesame seeds and the rice and stuff.
That's
And
sick.
yeah, and then we were like, shit, we don't have anything to do, so we just walked down the street, got some Asahi, like big Asahi bottles, finished those, and then went to the onsen. And like you said, they have like the stones with the water trickling down, and you know, it's
a
really
vibe,
relaxing.
man.
It's a
vibe.
It is.
It's a vibe.
It's
That's
super
why
relaxing.
I
like,
listen to kind of like, I guess like bathhouse music. Like when I go to sleep, just that.
Mm-hmm.
some of the best
Yeah.
stuff to sample.
Oh yeah.
Some
For
of the
sure.
easy
It's
listening.
relaxing, dude.
Yeah,
Like, you'll
man.
hear I forget what the flute's called, but there's like that Japanese flute.
Like
sometimes
a
song.
pan flute or
flute.
something.
Is it pan flute? Is that Japanese?
Probably.
Oh, but
The Japanese is more like string instruments
and
and
like
stuff.
yeah,
right?
like
there's
a-
there's a pan
More
drum too.
sitars, like
Yeah.
Like that too. I think that's fascinating.
it's
Yeah.
sick, man. It has a very hypnotic effect on you.
Wait. So what if you could say like your favorite or like weirdest time in Japan? Like, was there something that I guess stands out? Like, because I know. Well, I've only been there
I was
once.
at a
So
club in Roppongi, dude. That was like
yeah,
literally it was a
Which is,
dance
like,
floor, but
party
there was
town.
somebody stripping like in the middle of the dance floor. Like I don't know what place this was. You know,
I feel like
literally
we saw
like,
that in Germany.
it was like a dance floor, and there was like
Someone stripping
there
in the
was, like-
dance floor.
there
or
was like
something.
people dancing on the poles, but they were like stripping in the club. So it's like you could dance around these like strip poles, and I was like, I don't think that would fly in America.
Well,
like people
like-
would be so worried.
like
that,
Roppongi, that's like the party town, right? Like,
yeah, it is, but I was just like, that's kind of weird. A few weird things. I mean, the animal cafes were weird.
I couldn't support that, dude.
What?
I couldn't support the animal cafes. They like drug them, right? Like
I don't know.
the owls.
I
saw the owl
really got
cafe.
because I've been in Japan 3 times. I've seen a lot. I'm gonna tell you my weirdest club experience before I
Yeah,
dive
yeah.
into the animal cafes.
They seem too docile. Just
One time I was looking for this.
Mhm.
I was just looking up top clubs in Tokyo, and there was this one called, I think it was like It wasn't Jumanji. It was like this weird
I
club.
would go.
So when you go to Roppongi, that's where the shady characters are at. Like that's where
Right.
people that try and sell you prostitutes, like all that kind of stuff
What's up?
is there. Like, and they'll be very open about it.
Yeah.
They're just like, yo, like I got prostitutes and in English,
Is that like,
and you're just
like Yakuza? Are they out there?
that's where Yakuza are,
Yeah.
man. You know, I've had friends that have seen Yakuza out there, and that's why there's a whole stigma on tattoos. Because if
like
you're
gangs.
Yakuza and if you're Yakuza, they see tattoos as you being affiliated. So that's why, like, we can't relax in an onsen when we got a mafia boss in here. So that's why when you
Yeah.
go to an onsen, you'll see a sign of a dude with like a koi piece on and then a big circle and like X around it. Like, no
Like no tattoo.
no tattoos.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I went to this club one time. I was looking for it. I was by myself. And I remember I walk in and I'm like, this doesn't look anything like the pictures look like. And you know how in Japan, like the addresses are different. Like it's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
numbers and stuff. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I probably have the wrong address, but let's see what's going
You're in
on.
some prefecture or something. You're like,
Right.
what is?
This little
It's
club.
like the term for like little sections of a neighborhood.
it's like a county. If you
Yeah.
think of it like a county, prefecture. So
They put that in the address. It's like really confusing. But
I walk into this place, and I'll never forget. It's like the lobby of something. It's like the lobby of Twilight Tower in Disney World.
yeah,
It's made to look like some kind of weird, like not haunted mansion, but like mansiony, like old, West style mansion that you wouldn't see like in a Tokyo club in Roppongi. So I'm like,
it's like a movie set. like-
okay. I go downstairs. There's a lady in a black dress, like older Japanese lady, and
Yeah.
she's like, "You looking for like the club?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "It's right over here." I'm not making this up. I walk into the door. I open the door to the club. There's nobody in there. There's 3 girls in white dresses that are like waiting, and they have like their hands like this. I left immediately.
Why?
The lights, there was like dim lights too, and it was
So what
just
do you think
3
it
girls.
was?
I have no idea. I know it was some prostitution kind of thing. But,
Seems
dude,
sketchy though.
Yeah, it was 3 girls in white dresses like this, like smiling, and there was like 2 dudes like in black suits just kind of like sitting and chilling, like seeing what I was gonna do, and I left.
But it was advertised as a club.
yeah,
That's weird.
dude, it was
That's
was
weird.
strange. I should have took a picture of the building because it was you
Yeah,
know how
yeah.
in Tokyo stuff's like tucked away.
Yeah,
like, there's
yeah.
never like the here it is.
Yeah, well,
It's like,
sometimes.
I gotta take sometimes it's like that, but like you gotta take the elevator,
Yeah.
then you gotta go here and get like the access key. Like it was one of those.
Oh yeah,
places.
yeah. No, there's like a lot of in these buildings. There's a lot of stuff like hidden away.
Oh, yeah,
like
man.
weird bars. We ended up at some weird bar like with maids that
Yeah,
had like I still have the like animal ears that they were giving out and stuff. But
yeah. Maids over there is like how Hooter girls are. Here,
yeah, yeah,
You know, it's like wow.
yeah. They stand on the street like come inside like
it's so
whatever like
weird.
500 for a beer, which
Yeah.
is like $5. Like
But the animal cafes, man, the owl one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because it was the daytime, like owls are sleepy, and I was researching the place that I was at, and they said
Mhm.
like at nighttime they take them to a place where they can fly around. But
yeah,
you're right, man. I think it's great to be having these animals getting touched all day? No. And do I
Yeah.
think that they're as sensitive to animal rights as they are in the United States?
Hell no.
Definitely not in
Yeah.
Japan. Definitely not.
No.
So I could
But-
see a reasoning for that. I was gonna go to the Hedgehog Cafe, and I decided against
the
it.
hedgehog one. Yeah, that'd be cool.
What about you? What's your stance on it?
No, see, like I didn't go because the only one that we saw, I think, was the cat one, and my sister's allergic to cats, so we didn't
Right.
go. But I just saw a video recently of this like bar. I think it's in the Philippines, but they have like a lion that you can go up to. It's advertised as like a lion bar. You drink next to it. They like prop it up for pictures, and it's
Whoa.
obviously drugged. Like it's a
Yeah.
lion's not gonna, and
Right.
they're like propping its head up like to take a picture, and it's just like heartbreaking, to see
Right.
something like
Lion,
that. So
yeah.
then you start reading more into it, and I just saw that like some of these animal cafes have histories of drugging them or taking them from their natural habitats in like
Yeah.
really bad conditions, like
Right.
stuffing them in cages. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you ever been on Spring Garden, you'll see there's some shops out there that have like
Yeah.
1,000 rabbits stuffed into a
Mhm.
cage. Like that shit,
Right.
it just breaks my heart seeing that. But
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
yeah, but I don't know if that's the case for like most places in Japan. I feel like they're more,
I do research.
caring for other things. So
Yeah, I did research before I went to the animal cafes this time around. I really
Yeah.
I only considered the ones where they actually talked about the care of the animals.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
like Akiba Fukuro, which is the one I
Mm.
went to. They were very much like, we take great care of our owls. Like, this is where we take them in facility and
Mm.
stuff like that. And I was like, cool. And also, it's like, it's not like I'm touching this owl a lot. It sits on you. That's it. You're paying
it
for
literally
it just to, like,
sits on like your shoulder. Or?
Did I ever tell you the story of this? Did I ever tell the story of this in the podcast? because stuff went down at the Owl Cafe.
For real.
Yeah. So you have to meet at a certain time. You know how it is in Japan. Everything is reservations.
But
So-
yeah, everything's like super.
Yeah. So they're
You
just
know?
like, you
Sense.
come at
Yeah.
6:30. If you're not
Schedule.
here at 6:30, no owls. So I'm like, all right, cool. I make the reservation. I get there. I'm waiting outside. There's like a waiting station outside where there's literally chairs in front of this little small pink building, once again, that's tucked away. And so I'm sitting there early, and a lot of people are coming. A guy comes out in like a 3-piece suit, and he goes, this is...
Already off to a good start.
I know. Like, he has a 3-piece suit and a headpiece, like
Yeah.
a microphone headpiece, right? So I'm like, what are we going to be on TV or something?
Like, whoa,
He
dude.
takes a pile of books and he hands it to each of us in the seats. He goes, this is the owl handbook guide. You must read this before you come in with the
Yeah.
owls. So I'm reading this, and it's just like,
Is it in Japanese or English?
it's in Japanese and English. So
Broken English?
They're just like, yeah, it just is basically explaining that owls are nocturnal. It's the daytime. So when you interact with these owls, they're going to be very sleepy, right? So you can pet the owl. Never pet it on top of its head, ever. You pet it between the eyes, and you only do it with one finger.
Owls are like my favorite animal.
They're so cool.
pretty.
Yeah.
He's like, do not ever pet them on top of their head. Always go like that. The book's like, if you take your hand and pet it like you would a cat, you're out. So just take it like this. Also, it was like, owls eat mice. Mice have a lot of bacteria in it. If you get bit, you tell somebody because it might be bacteria in the bite. But the rest of it was like pretty cool. It was just like, you know.
The mice
Yeah.
alive.
See, but that seems
Right.
like a place
Right.
you would want to go. You
Right.
know?
Exactly. So I go in and the guy is like, all right. Literally when I walk in, it was like something out of a horror movie, but like in a good way. So like there's tables everywhere, but all on the walls, I'm not kidding you, are owls. Just like owls like sleeping, and like they'd wake up and look down at you and like go back to sleep. Like literally the walls just had perches
Right.
on it, and there's
Yeah.
every type of owls. So one wall had big owls,
Uh-huh.
the other wall had little owls. The guy was like, this is very, very important. A lot of people are going to be chilling with owls. If you have a big owl, you stay on this side of the room. If you have a small owl, you stay on that side of the room.
'Cause
Owls, they cannibalize each other. So like a big owl will eat the small owl, no problem.
Cold blood.
He's like, and that will be
Damn.
on you. That will be on your tab, bro. So it's like, you stay here.
Whole
stay
owl.
over here. What they do is they give
Damn.
you a string. They tie it to the owl's foot, and then they put the string in your fist, but they tie the string around your thumb. So what you're supposed to do is you go, Simase, hi. You point to the owl. They take the owl, they put it on their hand, they give you the string, and then they put it on your shoulder and it sits, right? So the lady was like, I'm going to put an owl on your shoulder. If you don't want the owl on your shoulder anymore, all I want you to do is raise your hand. You don't got to say anything else. I'll come over and take the owl.
Like, don't try and take it.
Here we go. So, she was like, you got to be very quiet. Everyone has to turn their phone off because if the phone goes off, it's really going to mess with the owls. They like everything to be quiet. Like loud noises really upset them. So there's not really a lot of Japanese people. There's more tourists, and just me, by the way. I'm not with my dad. I come in and they were just like, Skishi owl or Oki owl? I'm like, Oki owl. Give me a big one. You know what I'm saying? They put this big owl on my shoulder, and what we're doing is like we're sitting with the owls, like we're drinking and stuff, and then we can walk up and they take a picture of us with the owl, right? So this girl is there, I guess, with her boyfriend or fiance or whatever, and she wants one of the barn owls. You know, the ones with like the white face.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want that one. Everyone's whispering. I see what say. Hi, give me that one. The lady takes the white owl, puts it on her shoulder. We're sitting, right? And I look over at this girl, and she's like taking selfies of herself. As she's taking selfies of herself, the owl wakes up and like looks at the girl, looks back, and climbs up on top of her head. Now, owls have like talons, bro. Yeah, and just like digging in her head. So she's like, ah. And like the people who are running this aren't even paying attention because they're putting like stuff with other owls. So she's like, ah. And she has the string in one hand, the owl is perched on top of her head, and she goes to touch the owl. And I remember just shaking my head like this is about to be bad. As soon as her fingers touch the owl, it starts flying. It's just like
with the town on her head, or
no. It's up off her head now. She has the string. So imagine you just have like a giant killer balloon, right? It's just like, and its wings are so loud, bro.
Right.
Like, literally, like you can feel the gust of this owl just.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It was a big owl.
Dude, and all the owls wake up and they look like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say, did that set them off?
She screams. The owls, I'll never forget this. They all turn like immediately like to the scream, like all of their heads, like they swivel. This guy, dude, that got the situation. He was like, ah. He grabs a string, still whispering. He pulls the string down so the owl's flying close to his face. He puts his hand in front of the owl's eyes so the owl can't see anything, and it calms down. It was so weird, dude. He just like covers the owl's eyes, and like it starts to just like chill out because it can't see anything.
That's a Baller move.
And then like he went around to the back of the owl's head and like whispered like, pss, 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 and the owl turned like, you know, so like how its head is facing its back.
Yeah.
And was face to face with him, right?
Oh,
and then
yeah.
it turned back around. And like that was it. The owl was just calm. And I remember seeing that. I said, I wish I was a master of animals like that.
Yeah.
Like, yo, he just whispered to the owl and just like said it
Dude,
straight.
hearing stories like that, I wish like I had the life of.
What did he
I don't know
whisper
if you guys
to?
follow him on Instagram. Not Brother Nature. Him
That's
too.
what I thought you were
I
gonna
love
say.
Brother
Yeah.
Nature.
Nature, but the other guy, Tarzan. Do you know? What
Oh,
I'm talking
are you talking about
The real Tarzan.
about? The real Tarzan.
He's always like, chameleons are rare.
Dude.
Wait.
He's so cool, man.
Have you
I
seen
love
the
him.
guy Coyote something?
Coyote Peterson.
Did you? That's who you need
Did you
on
watch
this.
his channel?
He
Sheldon, you would love
yeah.
his channel, man.
He does the pain index stings.
Yeah.
So he started with like, you know, a fire ant, and then eventually over the years has worked it up. Like he did. Have you seen the new one?
No.
The executioner wasp.
He lets non-lethal animals
Yeah.
bite him.
Yeah. But some of these
Is
wasps
he
and
white?
yeah,
Dude, you even have to ask.
dude, some of these have
The
never
guy's
been
name is
tested.
Coyote.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He's a
I always
legit
said, is he
idiot, but
Theo Von?
yeah. I'm sure he's had a hand in that, but
He like, all
Yeah.
right, man, this shit's soft.
They charge $2 for that. No, like he literally just lets him sting him and then tries putting it into like a bottle again.
Right.
And this last one he did, like, I think he said the pain lasted for a week, something like
Is that
that.
crying?
Oh yeah.
It's funny.
Like, he can't
his
move his
videos get
hand,
millions of views because literally he's a very happy, positive person.
Yeah.
And they all start off like, today I'm gonna get bit by like the wasp ant.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he gets bit, and I tell you, 75% of the video is just him like, ah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's the best
like
part.
rolling
He
around,
couldn't
just
move-
like,
feel his
huh?
hand. He couldn't feel his hand.
He couldn't bend his fingers the last
They're
one.
like swollen.
No, just the nerves.
The
Like
nerve.
the
Shot.
venom or whatever from the
Sheldon, you need to watch
hornet.
these.
Yeah.
Coyote who?
Peterson.
Coyote Peterson,
Coyote
yeah.
Peterson, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what's it called?
That's
The
so
real Tarzan, man. He had a video on there about like what people were doing to rhinos and
I saw that.
Bro, it made my stomach hurt,
cutting
man.
the-
I think we talked about it.
Yeah, I was like, I
Dude,
would like to
dude,
cut off
they
their
left-
yeah,
They left a rhino without its horn,
rotting.
I saw.
Yeah.
and it was still alive.
Maybe
Its
sick
face
to my
was ripped
stomach.
off. Yeah.
Well,
It
they-
had no face.
Well,
Yeah.
they put it down because they
had
obviously
to.
can't live.
Right.
But like, yeah, no, I stand by what I tweeted, which
Right.
most people probably don't say too often.
Right.
But
What,
no,
you would kill that person or something?
I was like, dude, they should cut his nose off and leave him out in the desert for
It's
dead.
crazy.
I
It's
get
sad,
I
man.
get that these guys are like coming from really poor areas and they're doing it to survive and they don't understand what they're
And
doing.
they're selling on the Chinese
But-
black market.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, I mean, if you have the ability to do that to another living,
Creature.
Yeah.
And not feel.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't have sympathy for that person.
Yeah,
that,
Tarzan.
You know?
He was like pretty much doing like a call to arms type of video.
Yeah.
and I was like,
Oh,
I was
really?
with it. Yeah, because his video, like he
He's like, get the strap.
Yeah, he was just like he's like, yo, we can't let this keep happening. He's like,
Yeah.
this keeps happening. We're gonna have to take like extreme
Yeah.
measures. And I'm
Well,
like,
dude,
yeah, I'm with
it won't stop till people in the market in China, they just think that, you know, tiger dicks and
Right.
and
Yeah, they think
Exotic.
that
noses from they think
they think
that,
there's a health benefit to it.
but they think it gives
Stop.
you, they think it makes you fertile. They think it gives you a stronger boner, like
Really?
everything. Yeah, heart.
Yeah.
They think it cures heart disease.
Yeah,
Like,
so how do those like rudimentary theories about health still survive in these Asian countries? Like, how does that
I just don't. They just didn't have like a government maybe that, you know,
to educate?
laid it out to them like
Right.
you could take penicillin for this or like Advil.
Right.
You don't need
Dude,
to
you don't
grind
need
up a like
They're over here making a witch's brew.
yeah, for real.
Like, drawings and stuff, like
Yeah,
trying
but
to
dude,
cure the
I,
common
I
cold.
think him and Brother Nature hang out a lot.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude,
Similar
that's
content.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. 'Cause
Brother
they
Nature-
spent a month in Africa together.
Yeah.
I met Brother Nature at the Tim and Eric show. I went to see Tim and Eric in Philadelphia, and he was sitting
Yeah.
next to me. He fell asleep. I was like, wow.
There was no
this
animals,
guy's
so
blonde
he
tickets,
wasn't
there's
into
no
it.
animals.
He's like, oh brother, these guys stink.
He just went right to sleep, man. But yeah, that whole deer feeding thing is just hilarious,
Yeah.
man. Like,
And then people still find a way to get like, you know,
Offended.
offended by it. They're like, you can't feed them.
you're taking
them out
of their migration
Like, they're like, they don't eat strawberries or something. It's like, dude,
diet.
I'm pretty sure they eat like shit. Like, I'm sure they could
Right.
eat a strawberry.
Like, hey, dummy, this thing lives outside.
Yeah,
You think
yeah.
it cares what it eats? Bro.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
giving it a gourmet meal right now.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, this guy's just being nice.
Dude,
but-
this thing is outside when it rains. Do you think it cares
Yeah.
about eating an
Oh
apple?
my god, dude, that's the
I
worst.
tried feeding. There's two deer in Natalia's back.
Come here.
Dude, they're in her backyard. But here's the thing. So I'm trying to feed them. I'm
Yeah.
like slowly approaching them.
Trying to be brother nature.
And so right,
Yeah.
I was trying to get my.
Part
I had
two.
what did I have? I had I think it might have been just fruit to give
Okay.
to them. Here's the thing. One was a male, the other one was a female.
Mm-hmm.
The one had antlers.
Nice.
Right?
Is it a buck?
It was a buck.
High risk.
Got 10.
So Natalia's like,
Yeah, high risk, high reward.
She's like, stop. She's like whispering. She's like, stop. And I'm like, I'm here walking, and I think the 2 deer are at like the pillow cushions of the couch, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm like this close, and like they're like slowly walking towards me, and Natalia's just like, she's like, seriously, stop. Like she just yells at them,
Yeah.
and like the buck was just like looking at me, and I'm like,
I'm not scared.
yeah,
I'm not scared.
I'm like Arthur balling my fist. I'm like holding this. I should really ball with my left hand because I'm left-handed.
Right.
Yeah.
With this right hand, I'm just gonna have to swing if that thing comes closer. And then they just like trot it off, and I was like,
Yeah.
"That's Natalia."
Nah, dude.
Oh man.
For, like, animals are afraid of people. So if they ever like
They
near
are.
you,
Right.
like, it's probably not good.
Yeah, they express their fear a lot
Dude.
differently than we do, though.
The other night, I was outside of my apartment waiting for Grubhub to get there,
Yeah.
and my neighbor had just gone out with her dog,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of weird because like the way my building is set up, like you go into the front door and then it just kind of branches out to all the other apartments, you know. So her dog ran up into the apartments, and like earlier it had gone up into there and then up to my place. So I was like, oh, that's where it is. So she goes in, the dog goes in. I'm like, I didn't see the dog go in, so I'm like, maybe it's still outside or something. I don't know. But because they do that around me, they just leave their pets out. But I'm on this step like waiting for the food for them to call me, and out of the corner of my eye, I'm just like, I see someone walking up to me, and I'm like, oh, the dog didn't go inside. Like, I'll just come here. Like I'll get it. I look over, it's a raccoon like this big. No, not this big, but it was like
big
it was
raccoon.
it was like a mama raccoon, and
Right.
it saw me, and
Start
we
hissing at you?
locked eyes. No, it got scared. Like it like saw me, tried running up a tree, couldn't make it, and then ran into my garbage cans.
Yeah.
And I was like, when the Grubhub called, I was like, yo, can you come up to the step? Like, I don't want to go out there.
Giant
Because,
raccoon.
yeah, dude, raccoons will,
They're fight or
like, they'll
flight.
tear you up.
When
Yeah.
they fight,
Fight or
it's,
flight.
it's a problem.
Them possums.
You gotta fight on your
Yeah.
They are aggressive. Raccoons aren't as aggressive as possums will seriously cause
Dude, I
damage.
remember when I was little, I had a possum make a little bed in my trash can outside.
Ew, dude.
Yeah, like with its babies and shit. And,
That's crazy.
and my dad told me to go take the trash out, so I went out and like lifted the thing,
There's-
and it was like, yeah, just threw the thing at it. I was like, "There's something in there. I've never seen that." Dude. Yeah, like is that a real
Gremlins,
animal?
dude.
Yeah. Ever since then, I'm like, nah, I'm not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
touching that stuff.
That's the
like,
thing, man. Small animals have a lot of fight, and that's
Yeah.
that's what you gotta get into. You know,
They have to. Man.
they have a
Yes,
lot of
That's
fight.
why I'm surprised Brother Nature hasn't been like bit by one of these deer or something.
Honestly, I think he had been bit by like something.
Yeah.
Dude, that's my thing, man.
Even Jerome, remember Jerome? I think he was a French guy. I think that was his name, Jerome. And
Jerome?
he always was with the squirrels in like New York City.
He's with the shits. He's
I-
with the squirrels.
I'm really big into reptiles, obviously, but like when I see people put tarantulas in their mouth and they put
Yeah.
they put snakes down their throat, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't feel bad if something happens to you. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, it's like how do you have the confidence to do that? You must not care.
Yeah.
You
Well,
must
dude,
not.
I saw David Blaine in Atlantic City,
Mhm.
and he did one of his tricks where
The frogs?
where he swallows the frogs. And I was like,
What happens? What was the trick and tail?
he just swallows them and then like does something else and then comes back and spits them back up and they're alive. Like, I guess he like swallows water or
I think
something.
what
Like,
he said he does is that he'll have a lot of water in there.
yeah, yeah,
Then put the fishes or the frogs in there
mm-hmm.
and not eat like at all.
Yeah.
Because if
Which
you
is
don't-
still
you don't
pretty
want-
cruel.
It's
You know?
100% cruel. You don't want your stomach
Like,
acid like
Yeah.
Burning this frog.
right. So he like seriously dilutes his stomach with like just water or something.
What the heck?
Dude, I saw a fact the other
I
day.
see him cough up 3 of them. Not
Huh.
like
Oh, the
on
yeah, yeah.
TV. I was like, dude, that's nasty.
No, he was doing stuff that I was like, dude, he held his breath for like 20 minutes underwater.
I still don't understand. How
Makes
he did
no
that.
sense. Well, so it kind of
He
makes sense.
trained for
Well,
it?
no, so the way they did it, they brought him out with the tank sitting on top,
Mm-hmm.
and then they did like a slideshow, and while they were doing that, you could see him with like a oxygen tank, and he was just loading his body up with oxygen. Like, I guess if you pump it into you, like then,
it stays in.
then
more-
you're able to
you're
hold it,
more-
longer. So
more oxygenated.
Wow, I didn't know.
so he kind of cheats a little bit. He's not really holding
You
his breath.
have to.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
still
that's not
impressive.
humanly
Yeah.
possible to
That
do
is
it, but
That's awesome.
but yeah.
Since you're a reptile guy, how do you feel about like the invasion of iguanas in Florida, and fucking people, instead of just like rounding them up and helping like
Were they
companies
hitting them or something?
Dude, it's disgusting. People are going up to them with like bats
What?
and like, because some of these iguanas are literally from like
Well, yeah.
EU.
No, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they're massive.
My aunt, I had to move her out of her one place in Florida like a couple months ago,
Right.
and they're everywhere.
And-
like
and,
everywhere.
Tarzan, he talked about that. He said, call somebody. He said, there's no
Yeah.
reason why you need to run up to it with a baseball bat
No.
or something in blunt
Right.
force to the head.
No, that,
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's
I mean,
that's just
And they hold it
somebody-
up like trophies there. Like
I
that.
mean, that's Florida.
That's Florida for you. Yeah. Somebody would do that to a gator. But people just want to do that just to do it, right? My thing is, definitely shouldn't be like that, right? There's
Right.
a
Mhm.
serious ecosystem, heart-driven problem that you are not going to solve by killing them
Like
manually.
bashing with bats.
There's no way. You
Makes
got
no
to
sense.
Dude, but there's a lot of iguanas.
you
in
got to
Florida
protect
right
yourself because they can be aggressive. Like if you
Dude,
leave,
they can bite.
also if you
Mhm.
leave food out, you know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah.
they don't scare like pigeons. Like
Yeah.
they'll come and
Raccoons of
take
Florida.
they'll come and take your
Wait,
food.
did you guys ever
Easy.
go to Adventureland up the street?
No.
The day camp, summer camp.
That's,
they-
that's by that's on.
That's
Hugo.
by like Mike's, yeah, like
Yeah.
Mike's place. I remember they had an iguana there, and that place always flooded and stuff. And I remember while they were getting the animals out, like, because it was in like a tiny shack in the back of the
Mhm.
place, there was a giant iguana that was like the main attraction
Attraction,
of the
yeah.
place. It bit off like a finger and like
Yeah.
another digit of
Mhm.
one of the people, because they're not trained for that.
Yeah.
They work at a summer camp in Ben Salem. They're not
Right.
like
I don't know what kind of legal trouble that
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
dude, but
But yeah, they
they get aggressive. So you need to protect yourself. Should you go out and kill them? No, but like, am I gonna literally stick an iguana if I see it and it gets close to my parfait if I'm in a pool? Yeah, I'm not
Right.
gonna let it take my food, you know.
Right.
So you just gotta defend yourself, man.
so bougie.
Same thing. We gotta, yeah,
My
if I got a
parfait in the
bro,
pool.
yeah, if I'm gonna
While I'm
take.
sitting poolside.
I'm gonna
Wearing
put my
massage
Gucci,
glasses.
my Gucci shades up for a second and just stick this iguana if it's taking my. But no, I'm not gonna
Well, I
go
mean-
out and kill it.
I mean, what is it comparative to? Like deer are here.
Well, it's definitely faster than a
They're quick.
than a
Yeah, they are
raccoon would
quick.
be. Those things
Yeah.
are fast, and it just wants food. So like, think of like a really fast raccoon that if you try to touch it, it might bite you, it might whip you with its
Yeah.
tail, you know. But honestly, there's that video of Brother Nature sitting down with like bananas and feeding them all.
Mhm.
They can be pretty docile too. It's just whatever type of animal you
Whatever,
run into.
Bro,
probably
yeah.
whatever energy you
He
bring
had the
to it.
biggest
Like,
flex I seen like a 2018. Him and Tarzan. They were talking like eating brunch in Africa with each other. So they're just talking, eating. They're like, he's like, dude, this. He's like, I'm not really feeling this. And just goes like this, and there's a giraffe standing behind him, just going like.
Yeah, I
He's
saw
like-
that.
And I'm like, and Tarzan's
I
like,
saw that.
he's like, I'm not feeling this too.
I never
And
saw
then
that.
he just goes like, and like a little monkey just comes on his shoulder and just starts feeding. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, I was like, that's such a flex.
Yeah.
He's
It's
like,
cool.
he's like, what are we gonna do today? He's like, I don't know. He's like, we need to make a video. He's like,
Man.
we'll think of something.
Dude.
For some reason, I know what you're about to get into. You're about to
Huh.
get into like, wouldn't it be the lives of social media people? But I just think that
Sort of, yeah. How'd you know that?
because I could tell just by like your man. Like I would love to.
no, not even that.
My thing is like I think it's
Ben's
cool.
like Bella Hadid.
I think it's cool how we
Habibi.
we think. I think it's cool that we think it's cool
Hmm.
when we see animals respect people. Like we're like, wow, like that guy. Yo,
Yeah.
he's pretty cool. Like that monkey's chill with that guy.
Yeah, the
Like,
that monkey's wearing a diaper. Like, it's
Yeah,
hiding people.
I actually think of it like opposite because like I don't know, like I'm a huge animal. I know you're a huge animal person. I am too, and I know like you care about animals. But like
Yeah.
when I see someone educating people who might not know
Yeah.
about certain animals and like saying, hey, be careful if you ever come
Yeah.
into contact with X amount of animals. Like here's what you
Yeah.
should do. And also like I like seeing people who have a deep, profound love for like you treat animals
Yeah.
as if like they're
See
the
what?
living, breathing creatures, so they shouldn't be treated like that much different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See my man, like that was I've seen so many videos recently from like instant regret, you know,
Oh,
where people get out of their cars in these safaris
Mhm.
to take pictures of like
Stupid.
a black bear
Stupid.
or like a lion, and then
They
well,
all
there
have-
was one where literally a woman got, I mean, it had to be on Live Leak or something. The woman got like taken by the lion, off camera, and then you see the stepmom, I guess, who was in the car run after her. Apparently, the lion let the woman go and killed the stepmom. But it's like, I just don't understand people's thought process. Like,
Just look at your skin and you understand.
That's true though.
It's only white people doing dumb shit like that.
To me, it's
I don't know. It looked like the Asian parks, but
it's an uneducated approach to animals. I feel like most people, their knowledge of animals only goes as far as like Disney and Pixar movies.
Right.
Like they have
Yeah.
no basis of
it's
reality.
like fairy
How,
tales.
how do you
Right.
feel about zoos?
Here's the thing: if an animal is beyond rehabilitation, meaning that if I put this animal in the wild, it's an easy mark. Like
Yeah.
you know, how sometimes you find a squirrel outside. There's
Right.
that video of that guy that found a squirrel outside. He puts it in a tree, and the cat like kills it right away. If you have an animal like that, it's not gonna hurt it to put it on display. It has all the food it needs. There's no
Yeah.
natural predators. But I think to take something out of an environment where it's fully equipped to
Like
live
the
on its own
lions.
and put it on display.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I bought my chameleon from a pet store.
Right.
I didn't go out in the wild and steal my chameleon from Madagascar. It's
Right.
different, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, what is the history with that animal? What is the purpose? Is it there to educate biologists?
Right.
Is it doing something else than just being on display? That's
Is
my
it true that
food for
SeaWorld's
thought.
like shutting down? I
Haven't they been shut down for like 10
Yeah,
years now?
I feel like their
Yeah.
reputation is
Yeah.
beyond.
Well, ever since
repair.
that doc came out, I remember.
What, oh,
No,
Blackfish?
Blackfish destroyed
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. I used
Yeah.
to work for a subordinate of SeaWorld. A little known fact, Sesame Street is actually owned by SeaWorld.
I worked.
So
that's
like there
where
was
I
a
worked
Really?
too.
yeah.
I was a lifeguard for them.
Oh, okay. So we both
Sesame
are
Street?
ex
Sesame Place.
same. Yeah, Sesame Place. Did I say street?
You did, but I was like, is that a thing?
Sesame Street the show.
There's like a Sesame Park, right?
Yeah,
Like-
Elmo was drowning, and I was like, "Get clear!"
You know all the codes then.
Yeah.
Code Elmo, code Snuffy,
Snuffy. Someone
code
is-
Big Bird.
What,
Oh, what are
Code
those?
Zoe, that's when someone throws up
Throws
in the
up.
pool.
So the colors of the
There's one for
puppets.
shit?
Yeah, the colors of the
Snuffy.
puppets
Snuffy.
correlate to the types of bodily fluid you would find. In
Oh,
the
so
pool.
Big Bird is pissed?
Oh, when we take a little pee pee.
Hey.
Something got cut in there.
I seen the numerous Code Snuffle.
I see the Cody Snuffy too. I
Yeah.
thought it was a cookie going through the water. I was like, oh, it's not a cookie.
I saw a
That's a
diaper
lot.
going through, and I was like, "Hey now."
Oh.
Yeah, I was like,
Dude.
"Hey now."
What are
But yeah,
people's
man,
thought process?
what a-
You know how much power it was to have just like.
Yeah, you just go right to the and everyone just like clears the pool.
I
Man,
actually got sun poisoning working there though,
what?
because you know the slides.
I didn't
The
know
ones
that
we
could
had to-
happen to black people.
Yeah, yeah. The more you
Well,
know.
I don't know if you guys know, but I tend to have fair on the lighter skin. So
Yeah.
I burn
I-
a little easily.
I noticed.
Yeah. So
Sun poisoning. What happened?
what happened was I forget what ride it was, but it's the one slide with the 6 and they shoot into the pool.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that the big pool at the bottom, right? That also has the other slide connected to it. Well, during peak times, the sun's always behind you,
Mm.
always. So I always have my shirt off, whatever,
Nice.
just chilling.
With your
So-
parfait.
So like I'm in
Gucci
the
glasses.
water. So you'll know this. Sesame always hired a lot of dumbass young kids,
I'm
right?
shocked.
No, I'm saying younger
Yeah,
than
what
us.
up?
Oh, okay.
So I worked there when I was 18 or 19.
Same.
right?
I was in college.
Yeah,
I was going
I
into college.
I was in college for it. And I heard it's a good summer job. They give you good hours. So I was like, cool, whatever.
It's also
so-
fun. Make fun.
Yeah, it was
Friends with kids.
chilling. It was
just-
different pace, different type of job.
Sit
So-
up on a chair all day.
So, but you were also working with
No.
like
Not if you're on the water slides.
not on the water slides.
I
So,
got a lot to learn.
so what's it called? So some of the people that you work with are young, and they take their break, and they don't understand that like until you get back, the rotation can't continue
Right.
because
Mhm.
you're fucking up a shift.
Mm-hmm.
So some girl was like gone for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be the last one, meaning she starts her break first.
Mm-hmm.
So she starts, and then it goes to 1, 2. So it goes 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was like, if you're 4 or 5, it kind of sucks because you don't get a break till 4, 3, 2, 1 gets the
Mhm.
break.
Yeah.
So she messed up, and her break was like really long. So I'm in the pool, and it's like I was in the pool from like 11 to 3. You're only supposed to be in there for like an hour, hour and a half at most, right? So and like
Damn,
I have the like.
Did anyone try locating this girl? Is she okay?
Because they were like she got sick or something. So
Ooh,
they're like, dude, you gotta
yeah.
tell someone.
Sick.
So I'm like
She's in the
sitting
parking
there. So
lot.
I get out the pool. I'm like, yo, like my back and my side. It's just like it was stiff. I could feel my skin. If I went like this, I could feel my skin tightening. Like I thought I was gonna bleed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and now I was getting headaches. I was like, dude, like I feel sick to my stomach. So I go to the medical wing, and they said, oh, he can go home. So the next day I wake up, and I just had my skin like right
Mhm.
here was like pussing and popping, and if I moved, it was like bleeding. I'm like, I was like, oh my god. So, and I had a shift, so I went to the shift and I told them about it, and they gave me this ointment, this cream and stuff. So then I got to work for 3.5 weeks straight, like 40 hours at the one slide that's covered. And I was chilling in there.
Nice.
Hey, that's kind of nice. Yeah.
Dolo. And not many people
Probably
go
getting
to
like
that
the
slide.
shivers from the
Nah,
sunburn.
because I had a red
always
I had
get
a
that.
red nylon zip up jacket. I had a hood up with just glasses on.
Yeah, the whole and
You could low key catch a nap in there too a little
Yeah.
bit, because you just stand. Once you get to a point, you just stand sit on a chair. And I'm just like this. I'm like, can I go down? I'm like,
You're like, I think he's drowning. Like, should I just keep going?
He's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Like, when did you
Sesame
start
Place.
smoking?
It's
So
such a
listen, kid, there's no water on the slide. But go ahead.
it's such a weird place, man. They
Yeah, that's
they try to be like Disney World, like in their orientation.
I did like a little rotation with Six Flags too.
Really,
It was
I
like
hate
a
when
little
places try to
interesting.
do that, like sell you on some like magical.
dude. That's
Like
they did
Banana
Sesame
Republic
Place.
did that. I'm like, dude, I'm selling shirts and pants. Like, I'm not changing someone's life with
And
some
you,
chinos.
and you
like,
know, it's like the district manager like read a book like how
Yeah.
to make your, and they're just like, wow, I should really emulate Disney World's like whole, and it's just like
People
oh,
like that
God.
are disconnected with what currently goes on.
that is a good job though. I wish I would have done
What,
that.
be
Like,
Sesame Place,
or a Sesame Place or just like a lifeguard.
amusement park,
Right.
or
Yeah.
lifeguard.
Because I knew how to swim. I still do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I didn't forget.
I wanted to
you ever have to save somebody?
I wanted to get
You ever have to save somebody?
yeah. It wasn't like a serious one, but it was a kid that the person up front shouldn't have let go on slide, not tall enough, and like I was on the far end of the pool, like helping a girl get out because she couldn't really swim that well, and this kid was like going down, and I was like, oh shit. So I'm like fucking swimming to him. I get him out, and then he starts panicking, and I'm like, dude, like, and he's like maybe 5 or 6, but he had weight to him. Like he was a bigger kid,
Big boy.
Yeah.
right? And he's like climbing up on me. I'm like, dude, like
That's what they always do, man.
I was like, yo,
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
I was like, yo, you need to calm
Isn't
down.
that thing about drowning? Like the
Right.
person will always try and drag you with them.
Yeah,
They're
like
trying
that's
lifeguards
the dangerous thing. That's the most dangerous thing to do when someone's drowning is trying to save them,
Because they'll like hit you in the face or something.
because they'll
right?
float.
Like,
They're in
yeah,
panic
yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
Next, so the kid elbows me right in the face, and my glasses fall into the pool. I was about to sock this kid. I was like,
You're like,
amazing.
I'm tight.
Sheldon couldn't control his reflexes. He just like, hit him like right back.
because he's like climbing all over me, like I'm like, yo, calm
You
the
get grabbed by the
calm
face, like-
down.
Yeah.
And like his mom was like, yeah, she's like, oh, calm down, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
not doing
guys.
shit. Like,
I'm like, I need to go and break.
Yeah,
I was like,
man.
fuck.
yeah, not again. Another day.
I saved this one time. This big fat lady, bro. She came down the slide.
Wait, how fat?
Man, she was like
300.
probably as big as this table, bro.
Ooh.
Yo, she was coming down
Big
fast.
Uh-huh.
Big girl. She's coming down fast on this little tube. You know how like some of
You
them
just
have
hear
the
it
tubes?
coming.
She's coming down like this. She's like, boom, dude, and she falls backwards and like splash. I'm like, oh, haha, the old lady's having a good time. Didn't come back up. I'm like, oh, cuz. So like I go underwater. You know, you have to hit the alarm,
Yeah,
that
to
stops
stop
the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Then you go underwater. Boom, boom, boom. So I'm underwater and I just see like this
Mass.
object just crashing around. So I'm like, oh my god, dude. So you're supposed to incapacitate the limbs, right? You're
Right.
supposed to lock their arms up so that they can't
Yeah,
smack
put
you or
them
hit
in,
you or
like,
anything like
nice
that. Not
chokehold.
strangled them, but like you gotta like shoot like one arm past their neck or something like
You
that.
gotta
So,
get under.
yeah, that's what I did. But like the same exact thing happened to me, man. Her face, she was just like
Oh.
putting her hand in my face like this and just like underwater. I was like, oh my god, like this is really bad.
And sometimes you're like, yo, stand up.
Right,
It's
right.
3 feet. Like, stand up.
Right, it was
It's not that deep.
It was so shallow. Yeah, it was so shallow. And I finally get her to shore. And I remember she acted like nothing happened. I was like,
Like that was
She-
just part of the,
She got-
the experience.
She climbs
like,
up there, she's like, woo!
yeah, she was just like,
round 2.
wow. And I was just like, never go on this ride again. Leave.
He's all red and beat up.
I mean, that's what I feel.
Scratches
Yeah,
and-
it was just
Oh
ridiculous,
my
man.
god.
But so yeah, that
Yeah,
was
no,
my
I
experience.
saw.
I wanted to do a summer at like like Wildwood as a lifeguard.
That's the dream,
Dude,
as the kids say.
Dude, all the guys with hair grease and lotion, they just slide right off you if you tried grabbing them.
Yeah, they're too
You'd be
jacked and
stuck.
shimmery.
Yeah.
Like, the test was easy, but I was like, dude, I don't feel like living
Yeah.
out the shore. Like,
Yeah.
Nah, it's not for me.
I think
I'm not
everyone,
a big beach guy.
everyone starts like everyone
like
has
that. I
that
like the
that
water,
one
though.
time
Me
like
neither.
I'm gonna get a beach house or something.
Right.
Just never
Yeah.
do
I,
it.
I like the water.
Totally.
I love water,
never gonna
but I
do it.
just not a fan of like the actual beach like
Eh,
itself.
I used to be until I had the dude walking on sand now is like terrible with like the ACL thing.
Oh yeah, your knees just like. Oh.
Yeah, you have to, like there's
balance
no.
is tough.
Yeah, it's not sturdy at all.
You should
but
try running on the beach.
I
It's
don't know.
great for you.
I know, like an NFL receiver or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Knees up.
All right,
No,
man.
yeah.
It's 5:04. We've been talking for a little over 2 hours now, so
Jeez Louise.
yeah, it is now dark outside.
He's telling you gotta
Um,
get the hell out of
yeah.
here.
I
Alright,
just,
see.
I just think I don't know. I just think it's a good point to end the episode. I'm a little talked out. In case
Me
anyone has
too.
something else to talk about.
So
But,
I'll be doing some slam poetry at John's coffee shop.
Go see.
Cynthia, Jesus died for our Cynthia.
Go see Ben at Tattooed Mom. He's doing
I'm doing interpretive dance.
improvisational dance, but also
and
with
if
like
you haven't seen it yet, please go see this new Spider-Man movie.
Oh
Into the
no.
Spider-Verse.
Oh, we didn't even talk about
I
that.
just-
Did you see it?
yeah.
Shameless plug. No, it's good.
I don't know. Is this gonna be a thing where they put out an album for all these superhero movies?
So
Like,
they've been doing official soundtracks for a while. It's just
But
now
where they
they're,
get, like,
making them like
Marvel's
official
thing to do is
Where
just
they're making it
contact the
cool.
rappers the kids listen to make a soundtrack for their movie.
wait, so you guys might know. Do you know who Black Lightning is?
Yeah.
Superhero?
Yeah, it's on the CW or something like that.
Or
Talk
but-
about Static Shock, bro.
no.
Black
There's
Lightning's
a
something
character, Black Lightning. I don't know if it's DC or Marvel, but my neighbor who lives beneath me, he just got commissioned by them to do like a full book for Black Lightning.
Art?
They're-
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, they're trying to rival Black Panther. So whoever makes Black Panther, it's the other
Good luck.
people that does.
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, not gonna happen. But
Good
Yeah,
luck.
if I know anything, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, man.
But good luck
Who
to you.
knows? Maybe we'll look at this podcast in 5 years and be like, wow.
yeah,
did we
I was
say
a
that?
big dum dum.
Did we say Black Lightning was not going to be Black
Yeah.
Panther? Boy, we were so wrong.
Everyone has like Black Lightning like costumes.
Right.
And
Just a black lightning bolt. What is the costume going to look like? I don't
yeah, I
know.
don't know. like little like I don't know. Isn't there someone already that has lightning bolts?
I don't know.
Flash?
Static Shock.
Isn't the Flash like that?
Uh,
I thought he has the
I
two
was
lightning
thought
bolts on
That's
either side.
yeah, he does.
Flash
the
does have
yellows.
that.
Or is that on his shoes?
Also, go see Aquaman.
You guys need to see Overlord.
Yeah,
was
I'm
telling you
gonna
about
see
that
Overlord.
last
Damn,
night.
We didn't even talk about movies, bro. We can go,
I
for,
know.
we can go for a whole
Dude,
nother hour.
get
Yeah, like-
over Germany, man.
I'll
I
tell
wanna
you,
see
man. I got
Nazi
all the time in the
zombies.
world.
Did
Yeah,
you see
no.
that? Did you see
I
uh,
d-
did
it
you see-
spoke to me.
Did you see mid '90s yet? I know I talk about. it
No,
all the time.
no.
Please go see it, Ben. It's
That good?
You would love it.
Well,
You would love it.
I saw Jonah Hill, his whole press
His press
thing that
run
he went on. Yeah,
on
where he's
hip-hop.
like, I like hip hop too. Like,
It was
He's
actually
like the Wu-Tang 36
yeah.
Chambers.
It's like we get it, man.
You
Yeah.
used to be cool.
Yeah,
Jay Dilla.
yeah,
But he did a great job in Maniacs. I've been watching.
yeah. That
on-
show is
on-
awesome. I
I only
finished
watched
that.
one episode.
Netflix.
I gotta
One?
keep going. Yeah.
I've,
But
I've
it gets-
watched,
it
I've
slows
watched
down.
5, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, but it does start to slow.
Well, I watched New
and you're like, where's-
Castlevania. Has
what's
anyone
that?
checked that out?
No.
Castlevania.
Yeah, bro.
Is it about like
Netflix.
The
vampires?
game
Nah, Netflix put a series out for
The
it.
game?
based off the game.
Oh yeah.
What?
No, check this. All hand drawn. That shit great. It's like
Is it an anime?
yeah.
Oh, I might watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta check it out. It's super violent.
I'm watching.
Super violent.
Yeah?
Love it.
I'm
This is what I'm
into
watching on Netflix right now. Devilman again, and I'm watching.
You ever watch Devilman Crybaby?
What? Were you calling me a crybaby, or is that the whole?
Yeah.
No.
Now give me a run me
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I
run your
recommend
pot.
it. I think you might like that one better.
Wait, what is
For
it?
someone who's been to Japan and you don't like anime, blows
I
my
know.
mind.
People. Well, that's the question I got a lot. Like, well, why are you here? And I'm like,
He's like, I'm trying to hit the babe store.
yeah. I just like that.
People
I
ask
know.
you why you were there.
Well, like not like intrusive,
What
but
brings you to Japan?
yeah. More just like conversation, which doesn't happen that often. You kind of have to start your own
I'm
conversations.
gonna give
there.
you a list of anime to watch.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not that I don't like it. I don't know. Never
Don't know
got
where to
into it
start.
really. Yeah. There's so much. Like I know like the classics, like Full Metal Alchemist.
Right.
What's the other one?
Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy. Yeah.
Akira.
Samurai Champloo or
That's
something
my
like that.
favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah. There's
'Cause
so many, man.
RZA
I just
did-
remember watching
Was
Toonami
it
and be
RZA?
like,
RZA did the album for that?
for what?
RZA did the soundtrack for Afro Samurai.
That's right.
Oh, Afro. Yeah, like so.
That was
I
on-
mean,
that was
I
on
used to
Toonami.
watch like what was it? Samurai Jack. That's
Right.
sort of like a transition into anime. It's not the same style, but
It is. It's like it's kind of like Avatar, where Avatar was an anime that appeared on an American network show.
it's
Samurai Jack was an American
Yeah.
network
it's like safe
created
for Americans.
that was
to,
heavily influenced by
Hmm.
anime culture.
You're big into Wu-Tang Clan, so you're probably familiar with Lone Wolf and Cub. You ever heard about that?
no.
You know the.
What sounds familiar?
Remember the line in the song is killing me right now. Remember the line in the Wu-Tang Clan song, which is choose the ball, choose the path of
Yeah,
your
yeah.
mother. That's
Choose
from
the sword, and you will join me.
Yeah, so that
Choose
that,
the ball, you join your mother.
That
Death.
line is sampled from a movie, very famous Japanese movie called Lone Wolf and Cub, about a guy who is a samurai who serves the emperor and decides to defect from the empire, and in doing so, he takes his infant son with him to escape. So the whole series is him with a baby carriage, and he's got a sword. And so, like, the challenge is he has to travel through feudal Japan while the empire's trying to get him back, and he's killing, like, these ronin and stuff, and he has a baby.
With a baby.
That movie turned into a manga, and that manga became the basis for Samurai Jack. That character, the ronin character. I think it's Gandhi Travasky, the guy who made Powerpuff Girls, was the same exact person who made Samurai Jack.
Now that you mentioned that style was pretty similar. Like,
so there's a lot of anime aspects in it because it was all inspired by that manga and movie. That's why when you watch Samurai Jack, it's very anime-ish.
Yeah.
But was there talk of like what's
no,
the
there's
guy's
no
name?
demon. There's no
Aku.
I love Aku.
The last season of Samurai Jack, like ever, is really good.
Dude, the blood being black, that was just cool back then.
They
Like,
changed it.
It's red or whatever,
Well,
green
the thing
or
is, so the reason why the blood was black back then because
like
he never
shadow.
killed a person.
It was robots.
It was robots.
Oh, right.
So now in the current season, he actually had to kill people.
Yeah.
And he never killed anyone before, so that was like the theme of the season, was like him coming to grips for actually killing a real person.
Yeah, see, some of the scenes from that like just stick with me, even because when was that out? Like middle school, but I just remember
maybe elementary.
Definitely elementary school.
Like the shadow scene. I don't know if you remember the shadow
with
fight
with the ninjas dressed in white and
that thing just sticks with me, dude. Like it's just such a weird, like it was different from something that I'd seen before. You know, like I was watching Looney Tunes.
Well, that's why I'm so enthusiastic about Cartoon Network's content. Like why I want to work for them is because they have been very much pioneering like what children's quote unquote entertainment can be. I mean, Adventure Time is such a prime example of that, where you have
that's not a kid's show.
Yeah, like you have a show that tackles like such huge topics, you know, and especially like how it ended. I'm not saying it was the best finale ever, but the direction that the show was going in was very interesting, and that's why I've always loved Cartoon Network, because they're very open-minded.
I mean,
well,
that's more
Adult
like
Swim's a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
A whole nother beast. But Cartoon Network's daytime slot, like The Amazing World of Gumball, that show is brilliant. Like,
you
can
think
watch
so?
that show all the time.
Yeah,
Who's
Gumball.
the raccoon and the bluebird? What's that one called?
That's regular show. Yeah, that's that's not for kids either.
You ever see the pilot of that show? What it was originally supposed to be?
Is it like deep? Like it's
so the pilot is there's a guy at a gas station.
Yeah.
And he works the night shift, and he's really bored, so he gets high. And he sees some animals outside, and that's Mordecai and Rigby, like these talking
he sees a
animals,
raccoon and a cardinal.
He's high, and the gumball machine starts talking. So it's all based off a trip if you watch the pilot.
But was it originally intended to be like a kid show?
No, it was definitely pitched, in my opinion, to Adult Swim. That's kind of how they wanted to do it, like as this guy goes on a trip and he sees these things talking.
But I think they do still touch on stuff like that in regular show, like getting drunk or high.
Yeah, there's all these euphemisms for the different stuff, like child-friendly examples of more mature. So I think what happened is that they went back and they reworked that storyboard and reworked that script into something that could be shown on Cartoon Network. But yeah, I just love that network because they're always striving to bring you media that stands out, and they just they introduced anime to me and everyone else my age, which is a gift that keeps on giving.
It was them and WB. WB was the first one to bring an anime on American Airways.
Also, TNT, right? TNT, or didn't they do like some stuff? I don't think anyone watched them anymore. But
I just know mainly from Toonami. Like Toonami was the biggest thing that I had ever heard of. Yeah,
well, like the Saturday morning block on WB back when we were young, they debuted Dragon Ball back in the '90s, and also some of the other shows. And then Toonami, Cartoon Network, on their late night show, because I think they saw like an influx of like people watching the show later, compared to earlier.
I go back and watch those bumps, the old Adult Swim bumps.
They have the streams available if you if you want to watch them from an actual time.
Remember I showed you by John Bellion. I think
there's a couple
he gets a guy who does Piccolo's voice to intro the song.
And
it's so sick. The song's literally called Adult Swim.
Yeah. But you can go on AdultSwim.com and hit Adult Swim singles, and you'll hear a lot of the music that was made just for the channel. Another thing is, though, like when I say streams, like you could literally right now go online and watch the lineup from 2004 and play the whole thing.
Oh, really?
commercials and all. If you really want to have it that legit, they're all saved on this website.
Comcast has made it so hard for me to watch Adult Swim. You have to.
I hate.
It's not part of your own pack. You have to do like a special package just to watch Adult Swim. Like you
Yeah.
could watch Cartoon Network.
Well, you
Or-
can
I'm
download
sure
the
if you
Adult
can.
Swim app, and
Yeah.
they'll let you watch. I think close to like 90%
Yeah.
of their database without putting a
Damn,
subscription.
so like
on.
home movies or whatever, home videos.
that's on
You can
there.
watch. Yeah, you can
Home
watch home
videos.
videos.
Yeah.
That show is so funny.
It
Man.
is.
Time.
Tom Goes to the Mayor.
That show is so funny.
That's a good one.
Tom Goes to the
Lab
Mayor's one.
2021.
Yeah.
See,
Brack, right?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Space Ghost was.
Yeah, Space
Space
Ghost
Ghost,
Coast to
Coast to
Coast.
Do you go?
Yeah.
Do you know like the behind the story production about Space Ghost?
Mm.
That was a it was
It was like a real show, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it was an old like
It was like a
50s
daytime
cartoon.
show, wasn't it?
That no, it was like an old 50s cartoon, not 50s, like 60s cartoon.
Yeah.
That Turner they got the footage of.
the rights and everything.
Yeah, and they just repurposed it until they just voiced
Just
over it and just made it a completely different show. That's
Genius.
amazing.
It's
That's
genius, dude.
that's amazing right there. And that was like the first Adult Swim show
Yeah.
ever. You know?
Yeah, I just remember the old bumps of like the old people swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
Like it's now
Yeah.
time for Adult Swim.
Yeah.
We talked about this before, but like Adult Swim catered to the kids who were too young to watch it but stayed up without their parents knowing. Because if
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember, they would show a commercial, and then we talked about this before. Then the commercial's like, "Are your parents away? Okay, good." And then
Yeah.
and then it would to some like
Man.
hip hop, and
Yeah.
then like some of the show.
Dude, late night TV was some of the best stuff
It was-
back
yeah,
then.
man.
Like
I said
Even
it.
Comedy
I
Central.
still
the Secret
remember
Stash.
those was it steel drums
Oh yeah.
from from who or was it Girls Gone Wild? To hear that come on and be like,
Yeah.
you know, shit's about to go down.
Yeah, the Comedy Central Secret Stash where they played
Ooh.
movies or stand-ups uncensored
Yeah,
at like 1 a.m.
Really? I didn't
Comedy
know that
Central used to
happened.
do that too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was talking about. It's Comedy Central.
Oh,
Secret
these said
Stash.
Adult Swim.
Mm. Adult Swim.
Yeah, no,
just
I used to watch that all the
was
time.
just raw.
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
it was just raw.
That was
I'm not
where
used to that.
Family Guy had more of a leg up. I mean, now
Yeah.
Fox kind of has the rights for that, but Adult Swim still has the rights too. But there was episodes that Family Guy could only play on the Adult Swim stream because they had like more of
Yeah.
a content barrier than Fox
Yeah.
did. So
Oh really?
yeah, there was like episodes that were only available to watch on Adult Swim that couldn't be on Fox just because of the rules.
So the content.
Yeah, just
like,
because of the
damn.
FCC regulations
Huh.
that Fox had.
That
So
makes
yeah,
sense.
Adult Swim was cool. But yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about it before.
Mhm.
The big thing for me and why it's still so near and dear to me is because it gave you the mystique of you discovering something. Like you're like,
Yeah.
wow, like I just discovered a whole
And
hidden
it was,
world.
it was also something that felt like you probably shouldn't be watching.
Yes.
That's
you
what
were
I'm saying,
like,
like, it
you
felt
know,
like-
felt
Yes.
naughty.
It felt like you were
Yes.
part of like a subculture.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And to an extent, you might still be if you watch Adult Swim
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
mean, it's not like it's.
I haven't caught it on air
It's- I
in
mean,
a while.
wasn't it off air?
No, that was Toonami. Toonami was off air.
Yeah, they came back.
Or no, there's a show on Adult Swim now called like off the air, where they take like a topic like
I know you're talking about.
yeah, it's like bodies, and then they take like student films and they
Is that
just
the Joe Pera thing?
I don't know,
No.
I could be, but it's like they just piece all these like student videos together and they're weird. They're so weird.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
Like Hair, I think was one of them.
There's one that's that came out right now, like called like Shivering in My Skin or something like that.
Mhm.
This whole claymation thing that they're pushing, it is
That's-
horrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's
I'd
horrifying.
like to watch that. Delocated. I don't know if you ever seen that.
No,
But,
no.
I forget this.
Loiter Squad.
I never really got into it.
Xavier Renegade Angel.
Yeah,
Bro.
I forget who. Someone does a really good impression of him.
Frittata.
Yeah, yeah. It's you. You do the good impression. Yeah, frittata.
Chomsky honk. That show's brilliant. man.
That show, when I didn't know it was like a show. It came on and it like it like really freaked me out, like the backwards legs and the beak and everything.
Yeah,
it was
because
like,
it looks like a bad PS2 game.
yeah,
But it's an actual show. Like,
yeah,
it's
like it was
so
made
good.
like last year. Like
That's I mean
on
that's
the
the,
most basic program.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
But
the thing is, frittata. There was never any longevity in those shows. Like there was a bunch of them, and they only lasted for a little bit. And it was like, which ones do you like? Do you see which ones work? Like that's why Adult
Yeah.
Swim has so much new stuff that constantly comes out. You know, a lot of these channels they just have shows that last forever. There's always something new, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, they give them like a little outlet to
Mhm.
show these weird shows because
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they're like usually 10 minutes. 15
I never
minutes.
heard that stuff if I wasn't watching Adult Swim.
Ooh.
Like
Robot
no way.
Chicken. Kidding me?
Robot Chicken, Boondocks, like we were saying
Yeah,
the other night.
Boondocks. That changed everything.
Dude, I'm so happy I made the decision to
Box
buy the
set.
box set.
I want to get the box set too, man.
There's not that many left. There's
much
like
was
2
it?
left.
I
Huh?
saw
How
that.
much was it?
$50.
Damn.
but you can't. They don't stream it anywhere else.
Yeah, I just would throw the 4th season out completely, man. I can't watch the 4th season.
Why? Because it's just not.
Aaron didn't write it. It's just not funny to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the 4th one's included on that. But you said they're bringing it back, right?
There's rumors that it's gonna come back. I think it's just too popular.
That's like a
not
thing
to.
nowadays. Bring back.
I don't know if
shows.
they could do it now.
See,
like
like
literally
on Adult Swim, it could work because
yeah, I don't know, man.
Why? Because people are too sensitive now.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Boondocks came
just
out
because it's
at
on
a
Adult
very
Swim.
good time.
It did
Oh,
come
yeah.
out at a good time.
Very good time.
Dude, the stuff they talk about is like.
I love the Obama episode, bro, where Obama gets elected.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, man! And they have
Or
Will I
just-
Am singing that song, the Obama song. Like, that's what we talked
just
about
like-
last night. It's so dated, but when
Yeah.
you watch it, you can slip right into it, man.
No,
it's,
yeah,
it's
there's,
funny.
I mean, just some of the stuff they talk about is super, like, taboo.
Oh yeah, they
White guys thinking they're black or like, just anything, like just
Right.
crazy shit. Like I'll be watching it at my apartment, and I'm like, oh shit, I should probably turn this down a little bit because like, I feel like people wouldn't accept it as
Right.
well as they did before because it's like
they come right
Uh,
at people's necks too, like
hell yeah.
Oprah
Especially
with
Riley,
BET.
BT, yeah,
And,
yeah, right.
They came
Yeah,
right
he-
at what's his face, the guy in Make Medea.
Oh,
Tyler Perry.
They
yeah.
came right at him, dude, with that
Yeah.
cross-dressing episode. Like they
Yeah.
they went at people
Even
hardcore.
R. Kelly, man, they went.
R.
after
Kelly, yeah.
R. Kelly episode was one of the best episodes.
was-
of
They went
Yeah,
after him
hilarious.
hard.
That was one of the best episodes of Boondocks ever. Wait, was
Yeah.
Thug in Love about like 50 Cent or something like that?
Huh?
I know it was targeted towards somebody.
Well, that's Thugnificent, but I don't know who he's put. It could be 50 Cent.
Thugnificent, man.
Thugnificent. I don't know, but I got that thug in love. It's such
Oh,
a all the songs they make up for that is so good though.
Yeah,
He
that's
was,
some
he
of
was
the
a gay
best music.
rapper, right?
Is it or
No, Thug
It's like
the guy who
Gangstalicious.
looks like Mickey Mouse.
Who am I thinking
Gangstalicious
of?
is
Gangstalicious.
yeah, I think Gangstalicious, and
Of
then
course he'd be the gay. Like it's just so great, man. You know.
I just can't get over because they play it like multiple times in the one episode. It's like
Right.
booty butt, booty butt cheeks.
One of my
favorite.
favorite rap songs in it is remember Thugnificent's crew moves in next to Granddad. And
Yeah.
he gets really mad and like tells
They
him
do a
off one
diss
day.
on him.
They
Yeah.
do a diss, stomp him in the nuts. Where it's like that whole track where they're beating up this old guy.
Yeah.
And dude, he goes. So Granddad goes to the recording studio the next day and he tries to do like a diss rap and it's classic like old
Yeah.
man rap. He's like, "Don't be a fool, yo." Like, oh man. There's something
Now
so
the
great
exhibit
about
they
this
had
show.
Pimp My Ride episode.
Yeah, I remember that one.
He kept calling him like eczema or like he like couldn't come up with like the right word. Or he was like acting like he was blind or something. Like that was like the whole thing. He was faking to be blind.
Oh,
That shit was
man.
Oh my
old.
god, yeah.
That and the Dave Chappelle show are the two shows
I have
that
I got
miss.
that too. I
Yeah.
bought that like in Kutztown for $2
Wait, at like a CX? Like where did
at
you
like
go?
a CD store. There's like a CD vinyl store
Nice.
that never gets anyone in there. And it was
That's
like
nice.
$2 for the first season, like $3 for the other one. Like,
Dang, bro.
dude, it
That's
was
good.
perfect. Yeah.
All right, man. Should we end this episode?
Go ahead, Ben. Would you like to take us out?
Thank you everyone for watching today. You can catch me in the 95 overpass asking for change if you have anything.
He was for sure kidding. You didn't have to say anything. I was curious.
gonna let him rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
no.
curious as to what you were gonna say. Yo, this has been episode 52. Hopefully you enjoyed the stories and some of the talk. Maybe you found it relatable. We'll see you next time, 53, with Keon Johns, hopefully. Peace out.
See ya.